is alive and well. Satanism is a fluid thought being rose to the Satanism, much like the Satanists, cannot be nailed to the wall. It is not a team sport. It is not.
Join something in the name of Satan. You've been tricked.
You can expect that I'm doing years of doing shit that shouldn't have been done. We're gonna curse the fuck out some shit. We're gonna spread some blood across the stage. I'm gonna be performing my fucking soul out. Everybody has a misconception that it's about all these evil, these fucking demons that join the army and learn people about evil and about pure self-love and being able to love yourself and being able to heal yourself and being able to persevere through your life without having the restrictions that man is indoctrinated into your mind as you grow up. We've all been indoctrinated from the time we're born to the time we die. We're indoctrinated. We're taught a certain type of way to think. That is the way to break free of that thought, be the adversary, be the one who you're the opposition at that point because you're going against everything you've been taught. So keep yourself up and break free.
Now is the age of what are you going to do? Think it right now. As we gather on this wall purchase and harvest the earth that we're all sharing. Undo that shit. Whatever it is.
But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what that marries art with fashion? But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what that marries art with fashion? But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what
Sabbath, an event put on by Shane Bugbe. It's a satanic event. There's going to be a black mass. I mean, some of you who don't understand Satanism, maybe it's like Shane Bugbe. It's a satanic event. There's going to be a black mass. I mean, some of you who don't.
Fucking helicopters surrounded us, man.
That marries art with fashion. But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what
fire consumes, fire shall cleanse. From the ashes, a phoenix shall rise. Satan's sun shall blaze black in the skies. What man has destroyed, his blood shall cleanse. Aw shall be pure in the devil's dawn.
Fuck yeah, hell Satan, Shane Bugbe.
The end of the world.
that marries art with fashion? But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what
Enter the Witches Sabbath.
Satanism is less than free will. It's a duality to be good or evil. It's an ugly beauty. It's a Baphomet. It's duality in its simplest form. It's me.
It's time to forget the spirit and embrace the flesh. As we enter the age of undoing, I'm here to undo the idea that Satanism is a religion. It is not. It is a philosophy. Religion is where thought goes to die. Religion and its rules are dead, and Satanism is alive and well. Satanism is a fluid thought that erodes constructs. Satanism, much like the Satanist, cannot be nailed to the wall. It is not a team sport. It is not.
And if you join something in the name of Satan, you've been tricked. Undo that shit.
You can expect an undoing of years of doing of shit that shouldn't have been done. We're gonna curse the fuck out some shit. We're gonna spread some blood across the stage. I'm gonna be performing my fucking soul out.
Everybody has a misconception that it's about, oh, this evil theistic fucking being that's going to harm you and hurt you, and it's about evil energy. No, it's about it's pure self-love and being able to love yourself and being okay with yourself and being able to persevere through your life without having the restrictions that man is indoctrinated into you in your mind as you've grown up. We've all been indoctrinated from the time we're born to the time we die. We're indoctrinated. We're taught a certain type of way to think. That is the way to break free of that thought and be the adversary, be the one, you're the opposition at that point because you're going against everything you've been taught. to teach yourself something, break free from that.
Now, as we enter the age of undoing, what are you going to undo? Think it right now, as we gather on this wall purchase and harvest the energy that we are all sharing. Undo that shit. Whatever it is that you need to undo that shit.
That marries art with fashion. But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what
Satanis, Luciferi, Excelsis, in the name of Satan, ruler of the earth, king of hell, come forth from the pit, bestow the blessings of hell upon us, for we are your children, and we invoke thee this night. Brother Satan, I call forth this night all of your forces to aid me in the elevation of the superior human animal. We are superior, and we are superior not by ethnic means, but by the superior force of the will, the imagination, the creativity, and the very essence of resourcefulness and survival that is the heart and the very soul of the Satanist. Be with us tonight. Place us in a position of sovereignty that we might look down upon our inferiors and cast their kin into the morass of mediocrity where they belong. Hail Satan. Shem Ham Farash. Hail Satan. To a return of understanding, an understanding of civility, an understanding of tranquility, an understanding of compassion, an understanding of vengeance, an understanding of sensuality, an understanding of love, and an understanding of triumph. I recognize necessity supreme, life everlasting, world without end. So it is done.
Satan represents indulgence instead of abstinence. Satan represents vital existence instead of spiritual pipe dreams. Satan represents undefiled wisdom instead of hypocritical self-deceit. Satan represents kindness to those who deserve it instead of love wasted on ingrates. Satan represents vengeance instead of turning the other cheek. Satan represents responsibility to the responsible instead of concern for psychic vampires. Satan represents man as just another animal, sometimes better, more often worse than those that walk on all fours, who, because of his divine spiritual and intellectual development, has become the most vicious animal of all. Satan represents all the so-called sins, as they all lead to physical, mental, or emotional gratification. Satan has been the best friend the church has ever had, as he has kept it in business all these years.
do it. The devil made me 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 do it.
The devil made me do it.
Of Satan. 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 Anton LaVey, who is the founder and high priest of the First Church of Satan. Anton LaVey, who is the founder and high priest of the First Church of Satan. Satan.
It's ritualistic.
Satan.
The teacher, the informer of the wise.
Satan. LaVey, who is the founder and high priest of the First Church of Satan. 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 Satan.
Satan, symbolically, is the teacher.
Satan.
Label us devil worshippers.
Satan. 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 Satan.
The Satanist will become the prototype for a more rational, Satanist will become the prototype for a more rational, certainly more finely tuned society. The nude altar is an integral part of the satanic service.
Satan. 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 Satan.
Behave. How devil worshippers should act. And they have been in an authoritative position to do this, because naturally they are the men of God, they are the men of the church. Supposedly they are the men who have been doing battle with this devil and been absolving their parishioners of these devil's promptings. In this manner have they maintained a convenient means by which to escape the blame for their inadequacies or indiscretions, and blame the devil in one way or another. Satan. Witches, who held the devil's name for centuries, now refute Satanism with a passion. Witches, who held the devil's name for centuries, now refute Satanism with a passion, employing it as the other side of the fence, which they are most certainly not. All manner of occultists, from ESP researchers to faith healers, denounce Satanism as worthless, meaningless, dangerous, ad nauseum. But never is there to be found a positive adjective about Satanists. We Satanists only smile at such transparencies because they are transparent opinions. Their motivations are most clear. It shows that even those who now claim emancipation from inquisitors need devils themselves in order to make their art more palatable to others. Ironically, the masters of the world have always been Satanists. The masters of magic have always practiced satanic magic. That is to say, magic without the trappings of self-deceit, because self-deceit is always an inhibiting factor in the ultimate success of a magical rite. The great devil's advocates of the past, Friedrich Nietzsche, Mark Twain, Herbert Spencer, H.G. Wells,
that marries art with fashion. But is it really art? Or is it just another fashion fad? And what...
Well, look at that. It's working. Okay. Oof. I'm very tired tonight, but it's very good. I want to have cake, but I don't have cake. What do I have? I have Lilith. Thank you for joining us. If there's anyone, yes, oh, there is people here. It's very nice. I'm looking through the chat. I see I can put this up on the screen. Look at that. What do you worship Lucy for? I love this stuff. I love being able to put stuff up on the screen. It looks like I was getting harassed or someone's harassing in the comments here. This person, Jebediah. Some of you better lighten up. Even old Anton advocated for a sense of humor. I'd like to know where in any of this people aren't lightened up. Anyway, I'm glad you're joining us. Maybe Winter's going to call in right now. Maybe not. Maybe Lucy's going to call in right now. Maybe not. Did you like those videos? They're done by a gentleman on Goth Osgood Instagram. I met this fella, and he's one of Sharon's good friends. And so he made a bunch of videos for us. That's why I played both edits. I thought they were good. You know, the one's a little longer. Winter's calling now. Let's see if I can get her on. Hold on, Winter. Let me see if I can do this right. I got everything messed up here because I didn't feel like fucking. Let me see. I didn't feel like. Look at you, Winter. You're right there. Holy shit! I'm amazed by how this fucking thing works. How are you?
I'm okay. Can you hear me?
I can. I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Called in right away. I'm surprised you called in so soon. You've been right on
Yeah,
top.
I've never done this before, but yeah.
Well, I'm very glad that you're doing it now. It's weird. You're looking off into the corner, so you're not looking at
Yeah.
the screen direct.
Because
I
I'm
see.
looking at my laptop and then I have like the webcam. It's like a secondary webcam. I'm okay.
Yeah, I know. It's just for me. I'm not. You're. It's like I get. I'm like, where are you looking at? What's going on? You got a cat over there you're petting?
Okay, wait. I need to. Okay, so should I exit out of? Hang on.
I don't know what you should do. We're talking just fine. You don't have to get. You
Yeah,
don't have
I
to.
exited out of the live because it was going to echo because it sounded like a little bit of a delay. So
Okay. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm really hungry.
Okay. Did you not eat before you came on here? I guess.
No, I didn't. It's okay though. I'll
You should have had some birthday cake.
That's what. Yeah, I heard. As soon as I came in, you were talking about how you wanted cake.
I do want cake, but I haven't been eating any sugars. So I got myself Coke Zero. I did buy some M&Ms though.
I like your setup.
You do?
Very artsy. Yeah, it's very artsy and colorful.
Well, that's very good. This is the corner of my studio. The rest of it's a mess, so I just wanted to condense it into one corner. So, I don't know much about you. I know you're Sharon's friend, and you're going to help out with the ritual on
Oh yeah,
the Witches
I'm very excited
Sabbath.
for that.
You're going to help out with Sharon's ritual. Do you have any plans for that?
I mean, I don't know how much we're supposed to talk about it, but yeah, I'm involved in the ritual. I know it's going to be like at the beginning of the event.
It is?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what the little layout says for the schedule, I'm assuming.
There's a schedule? I've not seen any schedule. You could say I don't know.
Like when you click on the thing and it says like, I guess when it says all the stuff that's included, that's like the first thing that's listed. So I just assumed. I honestly don't know. Everything's so secretive. I'm involved and I still don't know what's going on.
I was going to say, I was going to say it is so secretive. I don't even know what's going on. That's why I was wondering how are you? How do you?
Yeah, I was tripped out because the location on the event isn't. It's not the actual location. So like I said, I have no idea. I'm involved and I still don't know what's going on. So
Winter's talking about the location on the Facebook event that was downtown. If you look at it, it's like at the corner of a business building. When I looked at it, when she's like, "If the location's been released," I'm like, "Holy shit, that would be a good location because it's like a parking garage." Wouldn't be a bad location for like a rave party. Well, it's like we're promoting it like a rave party, you could say, and it is like a rave party, but not. It's just it has to be secretive like that, just for the nature of what we do.
Yeah, especially with your reports of what happened for the first event.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a big surprise that the S word is a big deal in this country. Still, it's not a big deal to us. But say it at the grocery store and see what happens, So there's people, it sounds paranoid, but it's the truth. There's people out to get us. There's a fight that happens with this kind of stuff. And it's sort of ridiculous when you think about it, just a fight for liberation, a fight for individual freedoms. And as a child, you're sold this idea that you have those. And the older you get, the more you realize that you don't have those. And the further outside of the status quo you get, the more of an enemy you become to the status quo. And so...
Well, LaVey Satanism has at least normalized a lot of the symbols.
To
like
who?
you couldn't go out wearing the sulfuric, the Leviathan cross like in the past, but people were more used to it now.
Yeah, to who? But I mean, I don't think it is normalized. What?
That is a good point. That's a good point.
I've actually been run out of a town, and I knew Dr. LaVey was isolated in his house. He was isolated in San Francisco because of who and what he was. He had to drive around in a van, guarded. He had to have a bodyguard. That's a realistic situation for public Satanists to this day. So it's amongst us, we're comfortable with all that stuff. And yeah, I see like Satanism as a fashion statement. I see people wear it around like, what is that? I hate to put people down. Wear Black Craft, whatever this fucking company, Black Craft. I see people in that stuff all day long, but I don't see them operating in any way outside the status quo or anything like that. So I did an interview with Carla LaVey. in my book that's for sale. The founding of the Satanic Temple, Their Secrets Revealed. You should go buy that, actually. But and she talks about how everyone's a Satanist or no one's a Satanist, and she still feels like there's very few people that are actually a Satanist in the world. A lot of people claim it, but few are it, and it's sort of defined by people who are turn their back on the status quo, you know, stuff like that. But do you consider yourself a Satanist?
I consider myself a demonolatress.
A what?
I worship demons.
Okay, real ones?
Yeah, I believe in demons.
Tell me what demons you believe in.
All of them? I mean, I don't know.
Give me a night. I'm naive.
I'm very close with Beelzebub. I've written a book about him, I believe, by Divine Providence. I'm working on an extension now that I'm very excited about. I'm a big fan of Dantayan. I got some candles burning right now for Beelzebub and Baal. Baal being, the first principal spirit in the Lemegeton. But I mean, I believe a lot of these demons are actually the same entity and faces of the same entity, but they represent different aspects. Like when I approach Beelzebub, I'm approaching Jupiter because he's associated with Baal.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I worship actual demons, but I mean, it's still an honor to know Sharon LaVey and to be connected with that family.
Yeah. Tell me more about why you're burning that candle. Is it like?
I've never been on webcam before. I was real nervous about it. I feel like this is good for me to try to platform myself to come on camera, but I'm very self-conscious, so I was just looking for a little moral support.
And you're getting that from Beelzebub.
We have Beelzebub here, we have Baal here, and we have Antoine over there in the corner. And then I don't know if you can see my bones. That's Agent Scully.
I can see your bones, but I can't see your bones on the table.
Oh, I can't see what you can see. You want me to lift up
Talking about your bones covered in flesh. See my bones?
I have over 100 human bones over here in the corner.
Can you see my bones?
Yeah, I can see them.
I have a full skeleton in the corner in a box.
Oh, absolutely.
But I have it because I wanted to make a sculpture out of it. Like I was going to make a.
I have it to the altar.
Yeah, I have this on this is my altar over here. You could say. But I have it. I have a skeleton because I wanted to make a cookie jar out of it.
Okay, so you can't see them?
I can a little bit in the corner. I could see a skull and some stuff. Yeah.
That's Agent Scully.
That's very nice. Very nice. Tell me more about demon. I don't want to mispronounce it. Is it? I did a ritual. What was that?
Demonolatry?
Okay, demonolatry. I did a ritual, the first Witches Sabbath, with a gentleman named Reverend Avi, and he said he was a demon. He was into demonology.
Yeah, demonology is the study of demons, and demonolatry is the worship of demons. And then demonomancy would be like magic with demons, but not necessarily worship. Amazing. Yeah.
Quit trying to show her your bones, Shane. Oh my goodness, someone said that in the chat there. Yeah. Tell me more about what you do. What other books you have? Tell me more about you.
I currently only have the one book, but I'm working on an extension right now. I have Armada's Book of Beelzebub, which analyzes Beelzebub's presence in the grimoires, usually, mostly from within the past 500 years, and how it's evolved and changed, and also how the media has influenced it, with things like Paradise Lost. But now I'm working on an extension where we're going back to biblical times and archaeology as well, and the presence of Baal and the evolution of the name Beelzebub. And we can see, because I believe that a lot of the grimoires are encoded, and people don't necessarily know how to read them because they'll read them and they'll take them at face value. So we're analyzing kind of the secret messages. I've been hanging out in a lot of forums for different religions. I've been hanging out with in religious forums for the study of the Septuagint, the Greek version of the Bible. And I've been hanging out in Catholic groups. They chased me out of one at one point. Somebody recognized me. That was funny. But so there's a lot of secret messages in the grimoires or references to things that are understood from people who have a background in Catholicism, because it's present in ceremonial magic, that other people might not pick up on. So I'm just breaking down the grimoires, and also I'm trying to make them accessible to the New World as far as America goes, because a lot of them are written for people who live in Britain. And so some of the resources and the ingredients that they require you to use, we don't have access to them here. So magicians will hire other magicians from different countries to send them a wand that's made out of a certain material. And I don't feel like we should be outsourcing our rituals, because even the creation of the wand is a ritual. So I'm trying to look for alternatives in the New World, in America, and like state by state. And then I'm also working the steps, so I can write from like personal experience of how these things work or how to do them. I'm giving advice. Like I made this. It's a bloodstone. And I engraved it according to the Secrets of Solomon, and then also the Grimoire Verum. It might be the missing lament from the Grimoire Verum, and painted it with blood. And I had to like get a bunch of different tools to do this correctly and give advice about how to do it. So.
Amazing. So when you're talking about sourcing materials from America, why aren't we just using plastic?
Because there are magical correspondences that are associated with certain things. Certain things have a certain sympathy. Like, Venezuelan correspondence would be like sandalwood and rose, and like you would use that for like love magic and Fridays. So
plastic is basically dead things, oil.
Plastic is just poison.
Yeah, but it's oil. It's petroleum, which is us dead. We turn into oil and water and stuff. So it's like it is oil.
I mean, at the end of the day, you don't have to use anything. You could just pray. But I believe that by working these steps, we're showing respect to the demons. We're showing them that we want to be involved, and then we're not just soliciting them and saying, "Hey, please help me." We're actually working magic with them. We're being witches. That's just my personal opinion.
Yeah.
Also, it's a lot of fun.
What was that?
It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's fun to listen to, and it's fun to watch a movie sometimes. For me, I don't have too much belief in anything more than I can see, observe. Anything that's hitting my senses: see, smell, hear, touch.
I believe they can give you all of that.
What was that?
I said they can provide you with that.
They could, I guess, send them over. I would like some senses touched right now. But I believe in that kind of stuff. I grew up I spent my summers in a funeral home, and got to see a lot of religious practices, from witchcraft to Catholicism, which was the same to me. It was all the same. It seemed all the same to me. And a lot of times it would, I remember the old grandma, the great grandma of my mom or she was ancient. Of course, and I'm a young kid, so a 90-year-old is really ancient to you when you're 9 or 10 years old. But she was like, I remember sitting there watching things, and she's like, "You're a seer." She said some shit like that to me, and I was like, I just always felt like it was probably the air. Even when I was sitting there, I had this skeptical kind of mind when she said stuff like that. Like it was like an air conditioner. I was just like, yeah, it was just like the wind blew. I didn't. Just because my head moved didn't mean I saw anything. But I'm not saying I didn't either. I never took it to heart, let's say.
My mother is a witch, and my mother used to tell me that I had all these abilities, and I used to view it as a form of abuse because my childhood was so unstable and my mother was unstable. So I associated her witchcraft with that instability. I didn't want to be a part of it. I wanted to be rational. So I fought against it for a long time. I felt connected to a lot of things. I had an imaginary friend named Lucifer as a kid. Who was a shape-shifting cat. And he came
what was the name?
Lucifer.
Okay.
And when I was an atheist, because I was resisting the witchcraft, I didn't want to be, specifically because of my mother, I didn't want to be a part of it. So I had a really hard time rationalizing why I had an imaginary friend named Lucifer. I thought maybe it was from like Cinderella, because Cinderella, they have a cat named Lucifer. I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to distance myself from it, but they just sucked me back into it. It was unavoidable.
Yeah.
I understand be rational and wanting to being skeptical. I think that it's very healthy to be skeptical, especially of other people's paths. Like the left-hand path is a very independent journey. It's a soul odyssey. You can't be listening to everybody else and their experiences. You have to have them yourself, and that's what will really convince you. You're not going to be convinced by someone else's gnosis. You have to see the devil.
I love that. I'm very agnostic in my idea, in my thoughts. And it's more of agnostic in the Carl Sagan sense of the word, like this small little blue dot in the universe. And it's like amazing. The whole, when you think about the whole thing of the universe and us a part of it, and a little grain of sand, our planet, a little grain of sand in the universe, it is a very big trip. I love to think about multi-dimensional existence and stuff like that, but who's to know until you're dead? You say what's a necromancer?
Necromancy is divination with the dead. So it's not like in the movies where you raise the dead back to life. but it's communication with them. Divination is, communication with the spirits. I use them as weapons. So
If you had a chance to have sex with a dead person, would you?
No, I was warned. Okay, so I had this vision. I did like the cemetery ritual. I've done it twice, and it's been super powerful on both occasions. And I prayed for visions after the ritual, and both times I had results, phenomenal results. The first time they taught me that working closely with the dead can cause a myriad of health problems. It can kind of suck our vitality and lead us to early death ourselves if we're not careful, like working too intricately with them. But they warned me that if you're intimate with them sexually, because you can be with these spirits, it's much worse for our health. That was one of the first visions they taught me on my path. So, I mean, I'll have sex with demons all forever, but not, I don't think the dead and the demons are the same. And they've also warned me before, like, if I don't feed them, then they're going to take it, the dead, as far as if I keep them around me all the time and I'm employing them, because they're in my employment. They have, like, a job with me. You have to give them energy and attention, and, you have to consistently feed them. They're very hungry.
Have you ever seen anything? Have you ever seen these demons come forward and talk to you?
Yes, but it's usually in dreams. But I take my dreams very seriously, and they have real world overlap. Like, for example, the book that I'm writing right now, I really believe in it. But on June 3rd of 2019, I had a dream. I call them visions. I don't think they're just dreams. What was that, sir? I had a dream in which I was asked if I'd be willing to write the Devil's Codex. And I agreed, but I stubbornly gave the manuscript a working title instead because I didn't want to be told what to do. And it was like this whole thing. And then I ended up writing this book, and I published it on June 3rd of 2022 without realizing. And it was about Beelzebub's presence in the past 500 years. So I wasn't looking back into the times of like the Bible, in which he is referred to as being the devil. It is a name for the devil in the Bible. And in the grimoires, they'll present him as being a separate spirit. And again, I think that this is encoded, and I'm starting to understand what the grimoires mean now. And you're not supposed to take them at face value. But so I didn't realize that I was publishing on June 3rd, 2022, a book about Beelzebub on the same date 3 years later as when they asked me, are you willing to write the Devil's Codex? It was just a complete coincidence. And now I'm really set on my path and what I'm doing now. I think that, the work is important. But so it wasn't just a dream. I couldn't have possibly known. There are so many things that happened that, like, I'm just as much as a witness as the people around me are, even though I'm involved. It's like the party. I'm involved, but I don't know what's going on. But that's what makes it legitimate, is these things keep manifesting, and they're real and they come true. And I didn't know anything. Like, I'm just here for the ride.
None of us, as far as the Witches Sabbath is going on, none of us know what's going on. We do.
That's good. Yeah,
but
that's good.
We've kept this chaos about it where we're sort of plotting separately. This pill is amazing.
I saw you put that in. What the heck was that, sir?
It's my spirit pill. I get to see spirits when I take it. But what you said, like, I'm not glad. I don't care, actually. But when you say they exist in your head, I've said that before, like if there were spirits or there's a spirit world that exists in my head only. Because, again, I only go with my senses, what I can see, hear, smell, touch.
I have seen things while awake. It's just not as often. And I do, when I started working with them, one of the first things I asked for was for them to communicate in my dreams. And I did it because, again, when I came into this, I was skeptical like you. And I don't think that that's a problem. I think that you can come in and be skeptical, and as long as you're honest and you're willing to receive them and you work hard, they'll still communicate with you. They don't mind. But so when I came in, I asked them to communicate in my dreams because I figured if I saw a full-on apparition of a demon, I would be like, oh, wow, that's crazy. I'm insane. So I was like, okay, this is a good compromise. Come talk to me in my dreams. And I mean, it's been working out for me. I also use a spirit box. So, I mean, I do have recordings. I've had them call my name. So.
Yeah, I said I'm an agnostic, so I listen to all of it and I think about it. That's about it. I believe the subconscious is a powerful thing, and you could let's say manifest visions through your subconscious and stuff. But I don't. It's hard for me to believe in a lot of that stuff.
It's just like what I said with my dream where they asked me to write the Devil's Codex. And then I had another dream that told me I could be used as a key to Baal. And like there are a lot of repeating events where things will happen on the same dates over the course of several years. And at the time when they said I could be used as a key to Baal, I didn't work with Baal. I definitely didn't understand that some people conflate Baal with Beelzebub. I didn't understand that Beelzebub was Baal. I didn't understand that, Beelzebub was the devil, and they asked me to write the Devil's Codex. And then another author approached me and was like, hey, do you want to write a book with me about Beelzebub? I didn't have a relationship with Beelzebub at that time, not by that name. But I was like, it's good. It'll get me writing. I start writing this book. I have no idea that I'm fulfilling this destiny that's so beyond me. Like, I'm a part of it. I'm a player. And I couldn't have I guess you could say the greater self might know things that we don't know, but I didn't know enough to manifest these things. They just kept happening to me, and the things that they say to me come true. So I, at this point, I'm convinced. I completely understand being skeptical. I think it's healthy.
You're a very smart person. Oh fuck! I was gonna ask something. You know, I'm pretty tired tonight, so it's the way it goes. Oh fuck! Oh, you okay? The occult, the stuff you're trying to look at and transcribe that is coded. You ever think? Do you think you have Asperger's?
I don't think so. I
Okay,
mean,
you ever think to give that stuff to a person with Asperger's or someone no, I mean seriously, that thinks real different and can see. I'm not even kidding. If when you give stuff that's coded to someone that thinks totally outside the box, and I'm not talking like putting down people with Asperger's. I think they're super smart. They're way smarter than most. Way smarter than regular people. When you sit and hang out and talk with them, they're way smarter. They catch on to things like that, and that's why I say like I think a lot of occult workings, coded languages and stuff where there are messages hidden inside. If you gave it to an Asperger's person and said, "Help me out, help me see something here," I really do think that they could help you a lot. I'm not making a joke of that at all. Like if you think I'm putting you down or putting them down, I'm not. I think they are if you want to think about seers, they are someone who they are people or a group that sees beyond what we see.
absolutely, there are a lot of capable people out there, and that's another thing is people ask like, why you? Like, why are you so important? Why? And it's not just being capable. There's a lot of things that have to come together. Like, is somebody with Asperger's going to be this interested in like these religions? Are they going to be interested in Satanism? Are they going to be interested in the grimoires? You know, are they going to be willing to apply their skills and their abilities to this? I am a combination of many things that are necessary for me to do the work that I'm doing.
Well, I could see why Sharon's having you to help her, having
I
you
love
help.
her.
I could see why Sharon is having you help her with her ritual for the Witches Sabbath on April 30th in Los Angeles. Yes, I can see that. You're very smart.
Thank you.
Did you explain what necromancy is to me, or did you just say you don't fuck?
Hold
Hold on. You keep going. You don't let me get my words in. I like that, but I'm going to have to say, did you explain necromancy to me, or did you just deny that you don't fuck the dead? And by the way, I know a person who was a necrophiliac, necromancer, who would climb into coffins in New Orleans. Leela Wendell, I don't know if you know her. She's written many books on this stuff. But she would crawl into crypts and fuck dead things. So
fantastic.
Yeah. So tell me.
You just called her out. I guess she's open with it since you called her out.
She's very open with that. She's been very open with it. She's posted photo. This was back in the day, though. This is 20 years ago when we were doing zines, and there wasn't a lot. It wasn't online. She was online a bit. I don't know. Look her up, Leela Wendell. But she's a great one. So
it's just dangerous, you know. It's necromancy in general is very dangerous. I not only do I have bones here, I also have artifacts that are made out of bones. I have a ring that's made out of human skull. I have a set of dice that's been made out of human femur. The spirit that was attached to the dice did not want to be turned into dice, so I had to deal with that. They can be very dangerous. They can hurt people sometimes more than demons can. But yeah, so you asked what necromancy is, and it's literally just divination with the dead, which is, you know, communicating with these spirits. I personally like to weaponize them. If people piss me off, I put them on the death altar, and they don't last very long. It's very effective.
Well, are they all old people that you're necromancing or cursing?
No,
because you curse me. It's like, did you get me or did my age? Okay, come on. And you get guaranteed when I pass, everyone's going to say my curse stuck. I've been cursed a million times.
Yeah, people love to take credit for that stuff.
I am ask Sharon. I'm like Sharon and Lucy come up with this fucking title for me called the most hated man in Satanism, and so trust me, I've been cursed a million times over 20 years. Nothing's happened. I'm still playing with bones and making artwork and
maybe you have a good destiny. You know, the spirits don't necessarily want to hurt you.
Maybe I'm more powerful. Maybe I am the most powerful.
Yeah, you are the ultimate wizard.
Maybe I'm the most powerful spirit known to spirits, and there's no name for me yet. The spirit that cannot be named just yet.
Voldemort, no.
But I would want my wands and stuff to be made out of plastic and aluminum because I'm from Chicago. Concrete, iron, steel, stuff that like is American. That's what I think about that.
Well, I mean, there's a whole section in the book I'm writing now about trees that are American, North American alternatives, because the grimoires will tell you to use hazel, for example, and hazel does grow in parts of the USA, but because the USA is so big, there are states that don't have it, like Central California and Northern California have access to hazel, but Southern California does not. So I'm looking up, alternatives to that trees that have divinatory correspondence that can be used as a replacement without lessening the operation.
Well, I'll be honest. I use bay leaves a lot.
Oh yeah, bay leaves are fantastic.
That's
yeah,
right. Leela Wendell and me, she used to trade me fresh bay leaves off her back tree. And so I have a huge bucket of bay leaves, and I use them in cooking, but when I cook, let's say the closest thing I get to like magic or pray, like the ritual, is when I'm cutting tomatoes and I'm making something that's really intense to make, like a spaghetti sauce that I make, or something like that. So I use a lot of bay leaves. I use a lot of herbs in that. And
channeling Apollo.
What was that?
Apollo. He's associated with the bay leaf. You eat it and go into frenzies.
What is it called?
Maybe put on the volcano too. I'm sorry?
What is it called?
Bay leaf.
But you said Apollo? What'd you say?
Yeah,
you said
Apollo the god. He's associated with that.
Okay, there you go. I was like, what the fuck is Apollo? Okay. So you're saying bay leaves will make you go crazy?
Well, there was the oracle who would eat them, and she would also hold them, and she would possibly sit on a volcano as well, which might have inspired her frenzies, the fumes. But then she would channel Apollo, and she would give messages.
Oh, well, I didn't know.
It's actually one of the trees that I'm mentioning in my book is the bay leaf, or the bay tree, the loris tree. Laurel.
I'm gonna smoke some bay leaves when I get off.
Fantastic.
I'm joking, but so did you explain necromancy to me?
Yes, it's divination with the dead.
So isn't that just like praying?
Yes.
Would Christians call that praying?
Yeah, I have no problem praying.
No, I mean, but you're saying divination to the dead. So could we say?
Yes, you could say it's praying. The Christians are very opposed to necromancy. Of course, it's in the Bible. It tells you not to do it. I'm a great sinner, I guess. But I mean, I'm not a Christian, so it works out for me.
Yeah. And your mom wasn't a Christian either. She was a witch, huh?
No, she was a witch, yeah. My dad did convert to Mormonism during my life, though, in a second marriage. So I have some of that background.
Do you consider yourself a witch?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, very nice. Very nice. So what book are you selling?
Right now, Armada's Book of Beelzebub.
What is it?
I'm currently writing. It's called Armada's Book of Beelzebub.
Can you tell you're talking to someone older? It's like, hey, what you say?
It's okay. Yeah, it's called Armada's Book of Beelzebub. And then right now I'm writing an extension, which is over 300 pages now, and it's called the Codex of Beelzebub, or the Clavicola Ball.
I love it. I think Lucy's going to call in right now.
Okay, fantastic.
I'm going to let you go. It was great talking to you, Winter, and I can't wait to meet you in Los Angeles.
You too.
Talk to you later. All right, Lucy, why don't you call me right now? Oh my God, not that camera. Lucy, you going to call or not?
What fire consumes, fire shall cleanse. From the ashes, a phoenix shall rise. Satan's sun shall blaze black in the skies. What man has destroyed, his blood shall cleanse. Atwa shall be pure in the devil's dawn.
Fuck yeah, hell Satan, shame Bugbe.
The end of the world.
Anton LaVey, who is the founder and high priest of the First Church of Satan. Anton LaVey, who is the founder and high priest of the First Church of Satan. ritualistic. Satan. The teacher, the informer of the wise. Satan. Anton LaVey, who is the founder and high priest of the first Church of Satan. 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 Satan, symbolically, is the teacher. Satan. Label us devil worshippers. Satan. 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 The Satanist will become the prototype for a more rational, Satanist will become the prototype for a more rational, certainly more finely tuned society. The nude altar is an integral part of the satanic service. Satan. 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 Behave. How devil worshippers should act. And they have been in an authoritative position to do this, because naturally they are the man of God, they are the men of the church. Supposedly they are the men who have been doing battle with this devil and been absolving their parishioners of these devil's promptings. In this manner have they maintained a convenient means by which to escape the blame for their inadequacies or indiscretions, and blame the devil in one way or another. Satan. Witches, who held the devil's name for centuries, now refute Satanism with a passion. Witches, who held the devil's name for centuries.
Oh, God, stop this camera. Hold on. Let me get to the real good camera. What the fuck? Gotta stop this camera. This is the bad camera. Look at... Put this back on. Fucking bullshit, motherfucker.
Hey.
What are you AAing about? My words?
Yeah.
You and Sharon both. Like, I'm from Chicago. Hey, motherfucker is like a nice thing. You say that to grocery store. Hey, motherfucker, how you doing with the apples? So,
I'm like,
and you go
hey.
bitch, like you say bitch every other word. Like, listen up, bitch. Oh, hey, what's you are a witch bitch. You say that shit all the time, but you say it to people like yourself maybe or if, from small towns. Like, my God, he just called me a bitch. No, like we're a tonal community in Chicago, so motherfucker has 16 uses. But if you hear
I get it.
someone says motherfucker, and they're looking at you like that, you don't hey, no, I'm good, we're good. And you don't like
I used
in
to,
Chicago, you go like this when you walk by someone, you go like this. You nod your head down, but if you go like this, if you go, then it's on. They're like, "What's up?" Then they'll be like, "What's up?" But if you go, "Hey, how you doing? Nice to see you," they go, "Oh yeah." So we're very tonal and we're very animal here.
it's how you say it. I used to say, because I used to say bitch a lot. I used to say, I use bitch endearingly. Like, if I love you and you're a cool friend with me, like, I can call you bitch. It's like, we have that trust and that right to call each other that.
Oh,
Not everybody can do that.
I do. Like I said, I'm here, so I have a different vernacular than I did when I lived in a small town in Ely, Minnesota. Like I watched I didn't go, hey motherfucker, it's hello, how are you, sir, miss? Um, I almost, first of all, I'm sorry I cut off that video because it's so great. Osgood does such great work with those videos.
Oh, I
I could
love
watch them over
him.
and over again. It's really good stuff. And he's got
They're
one with his,
titillating, aren't they?
yeah, he's got one with his own music. He put his own music on there because something, uh, DJ Witch House. Those are DJ Witch House songs, I think. The DJ Witch House songs were getting flagged on YouTube, so Osgood just fucking just put together a song real quick. And the guy's a fucking great artist. Like he's a madman, a mad person. Like, and I love that because he's just like bangs these videos out. They're great. Wait till you see
It
next
takes
week.
it takes like a certain type of person to be able to work with like the satanic content. It's not for everybody, and not everybody has that finesse to work with it. And he's like, it was in his destiny to do this.
Yeah, I like to say I'm not prejudiced, and I like to work with everyone. But it is really like back in the day, even 20 years ago, I always dreamed like we need a satanic flag like the gay flag. So I could trust the doctor I'm going to, so I could trust the dentist, the lawyer, because once they find out anything about my background, it's on. And usually it's
So,
on. Like I just had a running online. I was doing this. What's this?
shall we start doing like some Illuminati handshakes?
Oh yeah, okay. I thought you were like doing gang
Ooh.
signs. I'm in Chicago again. I'm like, what's up with that? What's up? No, what's up? You gotta watch how you move your hands here. But I mean, I feel like that's like just recently. I was doing this gig online, working consulting on this internet thing, and the lawyer of this project goes, I knew right away by the tone he said some stuff, and he's like, "Oh, that's interesting coming from you." And I'm like, "Why is that?" And he's like, "Well, you're a friend of Anton LaVey. You've been run out of towns." I'm like, "What in the fuck?" And I have to break into a fight with this guy. I'm like, "You're lucky you're not here." No, I didn't say that, but I was thinking it. I'm like, what does that have to do with what we're talking about here, bro? Anyway, I was dealing with reasonable scientific people, so they side with me like they are. Were like, what does that have to do with anything? And this guy was some religious kook.
Oh,
Anyway,
don't you love the religious kooks? They're the
well,
best.
he's right away trying to throw these things in a meeting that I'm having with serious people to fuck up my money, to
Yeah.
fuck up my dollars, and it's like, man, that's not cool, dude. Like, so I wish they were, like when I deal with the scientific, like I deal with a lot of the tech community, they're engineers, stuff like that. They don't give a shit. They don't care. They care about what you can do. But that stuff still. All I'm saying is I wish there was a flag somewhere, a unified flag that we
Why don't
knew
we
better.
make one? We should
Well,
just create
because
one.
now the flag thing's off. That was a thing from a million years ago when I was a kid. Now everyone has a flag. You might make your own Lucy. There's going to soon be a LucyVon flag, for her order. So you look at her shaking her head.
Which is rule the world, WRW.
That who? Now you can't keep riffing off my shit and not give me credit.
I I'm very patriotic about my satanic heritage. Okay.
But you got to give me. I came with Witches Rule the World. I just said that in text. Now
I know.
Lucy took it for her own. She's already got bumper stickers made. She's got a T-shirt line made. Witches Rule the World. Yeah, can I get some
How did you
credit?
know? How did you know?
Because I
You
know
don't know
because
me well.
you're a motherfucker. You're a motherfucker. And the best way I say that. But you're a shark. And so I don't like playing cards with you actually, but I'm willing to. I like to swim with sharks, but you are a shark. I respect you is all I'm saying. Yeah. I really do like work with Lucy because she's a shark, but a shark you are. Anyway, Witches Rule the World. I told Lucy that today on text, and she's already got a T-shirt line for it. And she's not giving me no credit. No, I don't even get any percentage. Get
But
the
right
fuck out of here.
here, it's good. Like you said, Shane, it's a historical thing. Like right now, it's historical.
So
It's
again,
live,
she's making fun
online.
of something I say.
It's being no, I'm being serious right now. It's being imprinted in the minds of millions of people right now at this moment in time. It's an historical event.
Well, you could say that everything's a historical event, I guess, but does it make the history
But
book?
when it's live,
Yeah, but that
this
doesn't
is
make a history
history.
book. Your problems, your trouble. LucyVon is rogue.
That's a good one, huh?
Yeah.
Rogue Lucy.
So if you're in Los Angeles, if anyone's out in Los Angeles, Lucy's going to be doing. She's going to be out Monday, and you might be able to hang out with her, meet up with her some point, and buy her a fucking tea at the iced tea or some
Yeah.
shit, water
I'm
or
a
something.
sober Satanist, so tea, juice.
Right, that's what
I
I'm
like
saying.
pineapple juice.
I'm not always sober, but I won't take drink. I won't drink with people I don't know. I take tea or coffee with them. When I break bread, when I eat with someone, or I drink or smoke weed with them, I have to sort of like them. I have to like them. I don't sort of like them. I have to sort of dig them. So that's why I say tea.
So I don't know how much you want to Yeah, Monday's gonna be a lot of fun.
I
Monday's
don't
gonna
want
be
to
a
give
lot of
away too
fun.
much, but Lucy's going to do some stuff out in Los Angeles, and it would behoove you to stay in tune with what we're doing on the Facebook event page or the fucking Instagram page, Witches Sabbath gathering on Instagram. There you go. Or my Twitter feed, Shane Bug. I'm going under Michael Hunt Publishing right now because it's just
If
because,
you're a true witch, you gotta support your other witches.
as Lucy will tell you, I'm the most hated man in Satanism. So I have to use what?
I can relate. Like being like my background stuff, I've always been like the hated one, but I've always been the most talked about. One time my family was telling me they're like if there was if our family had a TV show, they're like you would be the star. I was like I thought it was like something nice for them to say. They're like no, because you're the craziest one. I was like gosh.
Yeah,
I was like that's kind of true though.
someone
If you're
else
not
visited.
crazy, you're not making history.
Right. If someone else was hanging out with me, and they're like, "Does that bother you when you guys call me the most hated? Doesn't that bother you?" I go, "No, it doesn't, because it's the same kind of it's the same kind of energy as love." And they're like, "You think?" I go, "It's the same energy. It's just a different. It's sort of a different tone, but it's the same. It's the same
It's all
energy." So
passion.
yeah, as
It's
long as my
passion with
name's
passion.
is yeah, passion. As long as my name's rolling off their lips, I'm not dead. I could be a living dead person, and people forget me. And at this age, I'm quite happy to have. I'm quite happy to be sprouting more and more enemies and hatred, and of multi generations. It's yeah, it's cool.
I like to see it as like people get so bored with their lives, so we give them something interesting to talk about.
That's right. And I don't even notice the people that hate me. That's the funny thing. Yeah, happy birthday, Anton LaVey. Isn't that funny? It's his birthday
So,
today. Let's hear
Shane,
it, Lucy.
how has the works of Anton LaVey like benefited you? Like, how
Oof,
have they like helped you out in life? Since it's
oof.
his birthday, I felt it's appropriate to talk about him.
Well, his works, so it's twofold here. Being accepted by him, by personally accepted and invited into his home, changed my life. His works, when I looked through them, I was like, this is common sense. I threw it to the side. I didn't give a fuck. When I read the Satanic Bible, I sold hundreds of them out of a gallery in Chicago called Goat Gallery because they looked cool. And I thumbed through it and I was like, yeah, this is common sense. And then this Nazi gave me Might is Right, and I'm thumbing through that and I'm like, these are the same fucking book. And I, reading, I'm like, that's why I published Might is Right. And that's how I got to know Anton LaVey. I was like, I wrote him, I threatened him, and that's the truth. And Carla will tell you that too. Like I threatened her too, but it's not a threat. It's just like I'm just firm about what I'm going to do this, and I don't give a fuck what you say. It's not really a threat. It's just like I don't care what you say, and I don't care what war we get into. And so, I was reading Might Is Right at the same time, and I was like, holy fuck, this is the same book. And I told the Satanist about it, and they're like, oh, everyone rips off LaVey. And I'm like, no, this book's older than him. And they were surprised by it. And when I saw they were surprised by it, and they knew everything about Satanism, I was like, you don't know about this book? I'm publishing this. And I was a publisher at the time, and I still am. And so I was like, oh, I'm publishing this book and marketing it towards goths and Satanists. And so I wrote LaVey, and I said, I'm giving you a chance to write an introduction. I'm going to publish this, and I'm going to sell it to all your fan base. And you could do the introduction, or else I'm publishing this, or else. And we worked out a deal right away. He loved it. He loved what I was doing. And Stanton even said it was the greatest thing. I interviewed Stanton. Stanton's like, you don't understand how excited my grandfather was to meet you. And that floored me like that. I'm saying it right now to brag. Totally brag. But he's like, he was excited to meet you. Know that, like, as excited as you were to meet him, he was. And Carlos said that he would go around the house for a week before I got there. This is just Shane Bugbe guy. Look what he's doing. So he studied everyone he brought into his reverendship. He brought into his family. He studied them to a heavy degree, and he had to like them for some reason. And so that, to me, hearing that all those years later, it's like I can't even describe it in words. But back when he made me a priest or a reverend in the Church of Satan, and I'm the last of the old guard. So I was the last person he made a priest in the Church of Satan. You know what I mean? And so last of the old guard. And so when he did that, I was just like a young metalhead. And I was like, that was like an Academy Award for me. I was like, yeah, this is cool. Like, I'll put that on the shelf. That's a cool award, as far as I started publishing out of a Chevette, living in my car. So I'm a total metalhead fighter, like a bulldog survivor. And so that's how I took it. But now hearing that he was like into it and understood what the counterculture was and understood what I was doing, I was like, I can't put it into words. It's dreamlike. It's really weird because you can say everything's history, but you can't say everything is history like an Anton LaVey, or that associate now my association with him changed my life because and Stanton said this in the interview too. He's like, and then my grandfather made you a rock star by association. And it's true because that's how I got treated afterwards when people know I'm associated with, and when he was alive too, when people understood I was associated with him, you'd see people shaking their boots. Like shaking their boots. When I was going to meet him in San Francisco, people in San Francisco, they tried to play it off. And then Blanche calls, Anton's ready to meet you. Hangs up the phone. The guy's like, Blanche just called, said Anton's ready to meet you. And everyone there was fucking seriously freaking out. And I'm like, the fuck is the big deal? He's just a man. He's just a man. Because I just was doing interviews with anyone. I was doing interviews with famous people all day long. So they're just people. And so to watch that reaction and to get that reaction, changed my life. I was a nerd and ignored. And I did all this work when I was doing zines and stuff, thinking someday you're going to dance with me. The beautiful one over there that's ignoring me. The girl over there that ignores me. You're going to dance with me someday. You're going to want to dance with me someday. I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you who I am through my artwork, through what I make, through what I create. I'm going to get you. And I did. I got that. And through Anton LaVey, I got that tenfold. And I still do.
I like that. I was just like, wow.
Hate me all you want. Hate me all you want. For every person that hates me, I got 10 people that love me because of what I've done with LaVey and what I did without him. Should I brush my teeth real quick?
You were just so poetic right now, and then you're picking your teeth.
Yeah, because that's the way it goes. I'm on, I have to think about this stuff. I already fucking got a cold sore. I don't want to be here barely. But my jacket's cool, don't you think? Don't you think my jacket's cool?
Yeah, the jacket's super cool.
Isn't it?
It was such a grand moment, and then like the flower just like, what? So
I
Did you
love your
realize
review. The
that?
flowers just what?
It did. Like you were just blossoming into this big like speech, and then it just teeth.
Yeah, well, I don't give a fuck.
Um,
Why I don't care. Go ahead.
no, I
Now
think
let me ask you the same question, Lucy.
I think it was very good of the moment. It was like life, you know.
Yes. Let me ask you the same question. How did Dr. LaVey's work? And see, you always know a friend of LaVey because they call him Dr. LaVey. That's code. Like you call Dr. LaVey, and so people are like he's not a doctor. He is to us. So tell me, how did Dr. LaVey's work change your life, or did it?
Okay,
Wow.
so I remember the first time like I found out who the church saint was. It was like online when they had their website, like their very original website. And like I remember they had the picture where they all had the animal heads on, and then LaVey's in the middle pointing the sword. And that was just like I went through the website. I was like, this is like the cool. I was like you. I was like, this is the coolest thing ever.
How
Coolest thing
old were
ever.
you?
But like I was probably like 14, 15.
Right
I
on.
come from like I've come from a Christian family. Like my mom was a missionary, my dad was a pastor. Like I know the Bible better than most people do. Okay,
I
so
love that. And
like
that's not a
seeing
joke.
that,
That's not a joke, people. Like, that's
no,
like the headline of every porn script, every fucking satanic horror movie. The pastor's daughter. No, this is the true, real deal. Pastor daughter. She's real.
I'm
That's not a
like
joke.
Dorothy from I'm a real literally from Kansas. Dorothy from Kansas. Dad was a pastor, mom was a missionary. Like helping teach Sunday school. I know my stuff. So like I remember finding this website and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. And then I think I just kind of forgot about it. And then like once I was like, I think I was about 20, I got my own place. And at that time I had become an adult dancer and entertainer. So I found that I went and bought that book and I started reading it. And like that was the cue. It was common sense to me. To me, it was like common sense. I'm like, this is common sense. And I felt like at that point in time, it like really, like I was breaking away from my upbringing, and then like going out into life and like really seeing how life was like in the underground world, and like seeing like the reality of what it was. And then like I read Anton LaVey's The Satanic Bible, and I'm like, this kind of like just flat out says how life, like this is human experience, human experience,
At least the
like no
American.
bullshit, just
Yeah. I
like
don't mean to.
just no bullshit, just the human experience, but at the same time like empowering people. Because that's one thing that always made like didn't make sense to me, was how religion kind of like demeans that human spirit, the human resiliency, the human potential. Like that's something to me like never made sense. I'm like, people are very powerful beings, like we have this powerful spirit in us. And like that's one thing I seen that Anton LaVey empowered, empowered individuality, empowered the self. And that like from that point, like I was hooked. I remember I went and got like the satanic rituals. I was like tried those out. And that kind of like broke me through, like where I didn't have a fear of it no more. I was like, I'm doing this stuff, like there's nothing crazy going on. But then I think like I seen more of like my perception like becoming like more comfortable with me being myself instead of like being influenced by outside forces. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's a. I think I've heard that from many people that I've talked to about Satanism, that they've said it just helped them find themselves, or help them not find themselves but understand themselves and feel good about who they were, versus
Yeah.
feeling odd, or feeling the ostracized, that the scapegoat or the black sheep of the
Mhm.
family, often is the Satanist, and they're like, it made me feel okay with who I was, versus before this I felt like a little off, like, or people were against me,
Mhm.
and then I could see why, and so, or
And
understand it
like
better.
I think too, especially like when you come from a tougher background, and like I think I've noticed this a lot, is I think people from a rougher background use art a lot to connect with their inner self, and I think that's one thing that kind of religion does, to like not accept art as like something beautiful from the human spirit to help you like make it through those traumatizing tough times in life. So I think that's something he also empowers, is that creativity within us all
Yeah,
that has
well,
like
I don't.
such a deeper.
For me, I was already on that path. I was already swinging, making artwork and publishing stuff, so I was already a participant in the counterculture. Like, and so Anton was part of the counterculture, or Carla thinks he helped create the counterculture. But I was already dealing with people that were like White Panthers, Black Panthers, yippies, these old hippies that were doing big deal stuff and causing riots and shit like that. And I was already working with those folks and doing zines and making artwork and causing trouble. And so, you know, I found that to be my religion, is always my religion. When I was a child, my parents didn't pay attention to me until I did some artwork, you know, and showed them something. And my teachers didn't pay attention to me until I scribbled something. And I just caught that, like that just caught my, you know, caught them like, and then they would look at, because it was, you know, and then I started communicating with abstracts or pictures or stuff like that, or theatrics, being theatrical, doing something that the whole class was going to look at, whether you're going to, you know, I was called the class clown or the troublemaker or all those names, black sheep, scapegoat, whatever it is. And so I just found those theatrics or performance art, you would say now, as something that was how to move people and how to move a lot of people at one time and make them move like grass. While they weren't doing what I was doing, they were responding to what I was doing. So I was like, this is like, artwork's like an orchestra. I can just go dun, 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 and make people fucking scared or happy or love me or suck me or fuck me, all of it. I can get you. And so artwork is my religion. It's my power, you know, and so anyway, I'm going off about that, but I already had that. And I'm glad LaVey, I think that's why he picked the people he did to be in his guard, I think that's why he gave artists the authority to speak for Satanism. He didn't give it to religious people or people who wanted it. He gave it to people who were artists. If you look through all of the people in the old guard, all of the people that were Satanists, that he's like, yeah, you're a priest, you're one of mine. They were all accomplished artists, or before they met him, and so they were carrying on that concept to other, you know, inspiring other people. This is what we do. This is the magic we create. And that's what Osgood, in one of those videos, he uses LaVey talking about creativity. And I had forgot about that, how it's one of the biggest power we have as animals.
And I was gonna say, like, it's funny because you know, they say Anton LaVey was ahead of his time, and now like they're finding out that art and like theatrics and the psychodrama and all that stuff has a lot to do with helping people heal from PTSD or really traumatic situations in their childhood upbringing. That they're actually using it, like not in a magical sense, but they're using it as in therapeutic senses. So in that way, I feel like that's something that's been ahead of its time. And even actually a lot of older cultures have used art and creativity and theater to like heal, to help heal that stuff and integrate people.
I lived on a beach under a 300-year-old tree in an RV for a while, but it was at this place called the Southwester, and it was like a big campground. It was run by these psychiatrists that had been, they were old, like 75-year-old, and they studied at all the biggest schools and all that. And he would talk about similar stuff, but then I was like, so do you think that should be published? He's like, no. Artwork that's made out of trauma should never be published. Because I was like, I come from the art that kills, or the aesthetic terrorism movement, where we're putting that stuff forward, that, you know, we're putting it forward to show people our pain or anger or hatred. And so he was the one that said, don't ever publish that. Don't show your stuff. And I was like, you're kidding me, dude. I'm doing this all day long.
I think it's like the masses of society, and the masses, they like to have their sugar-coated fantasy reality. And sometimes that art can get too deep into what kind of type of darkness humans are capable of, you know, and then that takes the blame off of it going to like actual devil. Then it's like, okay, like, oh, humans are capable of actual evil. And most of the time it's parents, you know, at the hands of your own parents as a child.
You got it. You seem to know that yourself. And I'll tell you, the world's lucky that I got into artwork. They're lucky. They're lucky I did what I did. Because I was I was definitely a really angry young man. I'm not so angry anymore. I am. It's just it's old man anger. You know, where are my fucking glasses? Lucy, you're very creative. You're a very creative person. Lucy's creative you know, like a bomb. Like she's
I'm like,
all
Shane,
over
what
it.
about this? What if we do this, Shane? What if we do
Yeah,
this?
we're going back and forth. I test. She's hit me with a million ideas. I'm like, and this is what I'm saying. I'm old. Like I'm dealing with younger people now. I'm like, this fucking people won't stop talking. Just shut up. Shut up. I don't mean that. You know, I want you to. But I'm like dealing with a lot of younger people, and they got all these ideas, and they're going at it, and I'm like, this is too much for my fucking old head. I love all
And then
you.
Shane's like, that costs money. I'm like, oh yeah.
You know,
We're not
there
gonna
is a
do that
set.
right now.
There is a satisfaction with being an old person that's been through this stuff because I could give advice that's solid. Like I'm like, well, have you thought about this, this, and this? And I'm like, oh, I haven't. Right, I know, because I made that mistake you're about to make 16 zillion times. The best thing about working with Satanists and the artists is that they appreciate that wisdom. They're like, okay, that sounds about right. Okay, I don't want to make that mistake. I don't want to step in that fire. And so I appreciate that because they're listening. Other people don't go fucking, you know, they're fucking. They got to learn. You say the fire's hot, they're gonna.
Criticism.
Yeah, you say the fire's hot, they'll stick their hand in the fire. You'd be like, you fucking idiot, jump in the fire already, kick him in the fire, get in there.
The
So,
best way to have somebody not do something is to tell them. I mean, the best way to have somebody do something is tell them not to do it, right?
you know, I hate that shit about, now that's another fucking, some satanic shit I hate. Like, you tell someone don't do it, they're gonna do it. Like, the reverse psychology of it is like maddening to me. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? So I gotta tell you to do it so you don't do it? That's childlike to me. It's just like, whatever. You know, I guess maybe everyone's like that, but I'm not. I'm not. Someone says don't do it. I'm like, what?
No,
But
don't
I'm
do
from a city
what?
that you got to like. This is not a small town, so like, someone says don't go in that neighborhood. I'm gonna be like, yeah, okay, that sounds good. Don't wear that color in that neighborhood. Don't wear those colors. You got
You'll
that? Nope,
find
nope.
out. You'll find out.
But I don't. I don't want to find out. Not there's serious repercussions in Chicago, so I don't want to. I'm just like, yeah, okay. I'm not. Oh, I got here when I first got back here. I hadn't been here in over 10 years, and I had all this colorful stuff on. And I got off this bus, and I'm looking around. I'm like, "What neighborhood is this again?" I'm like, "Oh fuck!" And I'm in the exact opposite colors I should be. And I see people looking at me like, and I'm like, "Yeah, I got to get back on that bus." Yeah,
That's
and
so funny.
yeah. What else you got?
So give us some details about Witches Sabbath. When's it going down? Date?
I forgot. I got no
April
mind for that. No,
31st.
April 3rd. Come on, it's Walpurgis. You know better. You asked me that crazy question. What the fuck kind of question? You just want me to read an ad.
For
Okay,
our new
April
viewers.
30th and May 1st in Los Angeles, California. Witches Sabbath. Walpurgis number 3 is going down. Witches from all over the world are flying in. I almost got the whole ad. I could read the whole press release. And this is a big surprise, but we're going to be doing something with Kanye West probably. So that's what. Don't tell anyone though. I'm just going to leave it right there. You'll see Monday's going to start unfolding, and people are going to go, "Holy shit! What these motherfuckers are serious." You're going to see some serious shit happen. It's going to start unfolding, and by the 30th, yeah, I'll be quiet, okay, Lucy. I'm not going to tell too much.
No, I said it's gonna be crazy.
Okay, but I know I got to count. It's a lot of secret shit, but by the 30th, you're going to recognize. You're going to recognize. That's all I'm saying. You're going to wish you were there.
It's gonna be so much fun. Okay, so and then I want to go over the VIP package. VIP package is 166, and then that includes rehearsal access on April 30th at the venue. Then VIP sitting at the Witches Sabbath, a witch's hat, signed Witches Sabbath poster, a signed Sharon LaVey poster, a photo, original Shane Bugbe art book, legalized witchcraft button, handmade canvas tote bag from Bugbe Fashion House, a keychain, embroidery patch, enamel pin, free drinks, and then attendance to the question and answers lunch the day after the event.
I'm about to
So
pass
that's
out
gonna
from
be a
all
lot
the.
of fun.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun for everyone else but me. I got to make all that stuff. I got to do all this work. It's a lot of work. I don't care. You pay $166. You should be putting something in the tip fucking jar. Okay, I'm fucking old and I'm fed up. I'm old. I don't have a retirement fund, you motherfuckers. Where is the satanic retirement home for people who blaze the trail? You motherfuckers. You get those fucking tickets.
And you can make donations at Shane's Bugbee. What Shane's cash? Your
Somewhere.
cash app?
Oh,
Your
just
cash
I'm
app?
sure Sharon will give me my donations if you go to Baphomet X. I'm sure of it. She's very trustworthy. I'm not even kidding about that. You go to Baphomet X, that's the best place to go. She's selling books too. One is Anton LaVey Illustrated, and one is The Devil's Avenger. And The Devil's Avenger has never been out in hard copy. There's never been a hard copy. And we stopped selling it on April 30th. So if you don't buy it from now till April 30th, you're never going to get it. But I could tell you this, all of the books I've ever put out sell for hundreds, if not thousands of dollars online because they're underground books and there's not a lot of them out there. So you're like, this is a stock market thing. You're getting inside. This is like Bitcoin. You're getting inside information right now. Go buy that hardcover book. Trust that. There's only a few of those. Trust me. Buy 2 of them, and in a year you'll be able to sell it for 3 times the amount. And if you want to bet me, put money on the table right now, $20 in a year. I'll pay you $20 if it's not selling for $300. Okay? How's that?
All
Just
right,
send your
Shane.
name. Send your
I
name in.
like that. Oh,
It's the truth.
I wanted to give like a little secret clip of what might be going down Monday. 1 second.
Give a secret clit. Why do you think I'm smelling these fingers? Whoa.
Whoa, it's very pink and satanic. How can I get a picture? And then
Ah, my
we got
wafers are there.
these.
I sent those to Lucy. Oh my goodness. You know,
That's
I
just a
used
little this is a little preview to what's going down
I
Monday.
used to give out these wafers in a bag called Black Mass wafers, and on the back it would talk about doing a black mass and how you have to stick that wafer up someone's ass or in their pussy or rub a dick on it, and then you eat it. So you get someone to come on it, and then you eat it and stuff like that. And I
What?
did, yeah, that's how you do a black mass. You stick it in the pussy, or you have someone come on it, and then you eat it. You get, that's how you do it. And so,
Yum.
yeah, when I did porn, I was doing that stuff. I was like, that was great. We did a porn convention. I had wafers with me there, and the girls loved it. They're all like doing black masses everywhere.
I could totally see that going down.
Oh, it was,
That sounds like fun.
yeah. If you're at a porn convention and you're a fun person like I am, there's fun times to be had. Everyone has fun, and it was fun.
Because everybody's a Satanist at a porn convention.
You think,
Whether they
but
admit it, whether they know or not, they kind of are.
they sort of are, but they're doing the work of the devil. But when I did the first satanic porno in porn and it was up for the awards, it was controversy. Like there were people against it, and they were like wearing crosses. The people on the set were like had to leave early. They were freaking out, and it was all like,
Really?
"Oh, I'm not kidding you." We built a really cool set. I do
That's
good. I do good work.
amazing.
And the one woman on there, she had her boyfriend come in, like she snuck a phone on the set. Okay, this is porn, so I don't want to hear no fucking judgment, but you don't let fucking girls run the show. And you make sure they keep their phones in the locker or in another room because you don't want them calling their boyfriend or anything else. This is how it goes. This is the rules of porn. I didn't make them, but I follow them because people are bigger than me and harder than me that run porn. They're professional bullies. So you just listen. And so anyway, this girl got her phone on the set and she calls her boyfriend up and he comes in and these people were on like one of these shows, Intervention. They were on TV. I saw them years later.
Oh
But
my gosh.
her boyfriend comes in and he's a mixed martial artist. He does MMA fighting. And I didn't know any of this, but he comes in, where is she? And then all these guys, Matt Zane, all these guys that know jujitsu, all these they go behind me. And I'm standing there. And they're like, I'm like, what the fuck? And the guy comes up to me and I have a little Baphomet on a necklace that Anton LaVey gave me. And the guy, the bully's like the guy, the fighter's looking down at it. He goes, where is she? And she's right on the set. Just go get her. And he pulls her out of there and leaves. And Matt Zane, I look back and all these tough fucking dickheads are shaking in their boots. And I'm still not shaking yet. I'm not even, but I do get worried after they tell me these stories. I'm like, what the fuck is your problem? Matt's like, dude, that guy's broken like fucking 3 guys' backs in the last 2 months. He comes on sets and fucks people up, and he's broke 3 guys' backs or necks. And I'm like, what? And he goes, yeah, he cracks them right over their fucking his knee. And I'm like, then I started to get like sort of sick in my stomach and like wanting to poop my pants or something, because it was like, then I was like, oh God, I hope this guy doesn't come back. And then, you know, they call the guys, and all these guys come there and they're like, where is he? We're going to go get him. So that's the outcome of working in the wrong porn set when it's run by a family of people that have run pornography for decades. You end up getting visits at your home, and you never visit porn sets again.
Isn't that funny coincidence though? It's like porn, like, and they don't even like when I was like incarcerated for a little bit, like people are like tough
You were incarcerated?
criminals, killers, yeah, tough criminals like are scared of Satanism. I'm like, it's not even that scary.
I'm telling
They're
you.
like, don't mess with her, don't mess with her. She's a witch. I'm like, I'm just me. Like to me, I'm just me, you know.
I'm telling you. I've literally like I saw. I'm always in my head like this little kid like that got bullied by my parents. So I always feel like that. But I can get the seat apart in the right room with the satanic shit. Like they'll fucking people will back away, and I'm just like, yeah. So you know, but that's always the case.
Like
That's
you said,
what.
don't fuck with them.
What do you mean?
Like when you say how the people respected Anton and his family, they're like, but don't fuck with them. They're not to be fucked with. And I think people get that same energy when they come around a Satanist. Is like we don't have to say or do anything. People just feel that energy. Like that's not one to mess with. That like animal instinct in them knows.
I think so. They look at us and they say, wow, there's a fight in this person. They've got a knife in their boot or something's going on. And I definitely, when I walk the streets of Chicago, I definitely look people in the eye. And if they're looking like, and now especially I'm old man, so look at me and I look at them like, yeah. You know, I got some young kids in the neighborhood. They were coming in the grocery store, Walgreens, and I'm trying to get out. I'm like, you know, going between them. And they're like looking at me and I just turn around. I was like, yeah, I didn't put my hands up like this though, because that's just, you know, bad. I was just like stood there like, what's up? And then they turned around and walked off. And the woman I was with, she was like, oh dude, they were about to face off. I'm surprised they didn't. They were going to start stomp you. And I think, and she's like, you know, like basically like, I'm surprised they didn't. And I think it was exactly what you're saying, some animal instincts, because I stood there and I was like, you know, it's like, you don't know what I got in my pocket, motherfucker. You know, you don't
And I
have.
don't think it. I think it's not even like. That's why I say animal instincts. I don't think it's like it's sometimes it's not even a physical thing. Like I think it's one of those things of the fear of the unknown. Like it's not the physical things people are scared of. It's the unphysical things.
I just saw, yes, I just saw something in the comments about as above, so below. That phrase is misused. I wish I could explain it to you in detail right now. If you message me, I'll give you a whole breakdown of how that's misused. The phrase is off. It's the same as love is the law. That phrase is misused. And as above, so below. It's more like, I can't do it right now. Tune in next week. I'll have an answer for you, Jebediah. Okay, this is what happens when you get older. I've got a mind full of stuff. I have a whole file cabinet I got to go through. Basically, what I'm saying, Jebediah, is I've forgotten more than you'll know, or you know to this moment. Maybe you'll know more, but I've forgotten more than most of you young motherfuckers know. That's what I know.
How funny.
You
Okay, and
were
then
incarcerated. Tell me more about that. I want to hear about you. Did you know? Oh, I
oh
should.
god.
Okay, I will leave it alone. I'm getting into fantasy land about women prison pillow fights. I'm sorry. Okay,
It's crazy in there.
I've
I
been in
didn't
jail.
really understand how much people like how much power I had and how much respect people had for me until I was in there. And then that's when I realized like people would listen to me. Like we would we would put together groups. Okay. So like I would like make sure everybody like at lunch we'd all gather our cookies, right? And like I'd tell everybody, you know, we're gonna have like a class tonight, like a little study tonight. So like and these are like killers and murderers, okay? And like they would be like, shut the TV off, shut everything off. And everybody's gonna come sit down and listen, and if you're not gonna listen, you're gonna stand in your bed and be quiet. And I was like, damn, like I didn't I like, to me that was interesting, you know. So yeah, but like I think one thing is coffee and cookies and food, can't go wrong with that. It always brings people together.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
went at one time when I was getting transferred over to go to court, because they would transfer us like on the buses to court. I was in the holding cell with this lady, and she was like in our cell, and she's like this old lady, never talked, never said anything, just stayed on her bed. She really didn't take care of her hygiene either, but that's like one of the things you have to do is take care of hygiene. And she never really like, nobody really messed with her. So I'm in the holding cell with this lady, right? And I'm like, hey, what's your story? And she tells me, she goes, I shot somebody in the head. And I'm like, what? So she started telling me, she's like, yeah, I had a friend that was staying with me and have a lot of cats, she said. And then she's like, one day I came home from work and he had all the cats locked outside. So she's like, so I went in my house, got the shotgun and shut his fucking head off. I was like, damn, I was like, well, I like cats too. But it's crazy stuff in there.
Yeah, I was when I was in jail. I was locked. When we took a jail transport to court, I was chained to one of the Chicago Rippers. I didn't know that what they had a name at the time, but he was a serial killer. And they would cut boobs off and stick them in the freezer and all that weird shit. And they were like, he was talking about Satanism then. That's the first time I heard about Satanism. And I had just turned 16 to 17. So when I look at 17-year-olds today, I'm like, man, I was a fucking kid when I was in jail. Like, that's a fucking child. That's a fucking child, man. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's baby.
Yeah, right. So it's like, but I'm chained to this dude. And, that's when I knew my life was, I didn't have this normal life, because he's up there talking on the stand and they're like, well, he pounded a 2x4 up her twat. And, and this is what this is how the language was in court, and put her in the dumpster and all this kind of weird shit and cut her off her tits and put it in the fucking freezer. And this is going on in court before me. So I'm like, oh, wow. And so then I go up there and my psychotherapist tells my story to the judge, and I see the bailiff start to cry, and I'm like, the fuck she's crying about? For me, I didn't get a fucking thing stuck up my ass. Like, I didn't get a 2x4. I didn't get my shit cut off. The fuck she crying about for me? But there you go. Then I was like, man, I guess my life isn't normal after all.
That's one thing I can relate to on that, because like when we were going to court fighting my case and stuff like that, like I'm not one to like say things to get pity. Like I'm a strong individual, like I went through some crazy stuff, and the fact that I've made it through that, I take very great pride and strength from that, like I don't beg, I don't ask for handouts. Like I believe in earning everything fairly that I get and receive. So like when I was in there in court and like my lawyer's fighting for me and all this stuff, and he's saying all this sob story, I'm just like, dude, like I don't need to, like, I did what I did. Like, let me just serve my time and like be done with it. I'm not gonna sit here and get a sob story. But then like seeing people's reactions, like you, like realizing like, oh, like maybe I don't come from such a normal background like most people do.
Right. That was, and for me, I don't care about sob story or not. I wasn't in control of nothing. I was locked up, so I just dealt with it. But I'll tell you, at the end, I was supposed to do 2 years, and you go any year and a day, you go to prison, the big house, and county jail's a lot different. You don't get raped in county jail, and fucking fucked up and stuff like that, and in prison you do. And so I was facing prison, and the state's attorney came to me and made a deal and said, take a deal of a year, and you won't have to go to prison. And I said, I'll take it. And I swear I was going to kill myself if I had to go to prison. I could not deal with that kind of shit like that. I couldn't even comprehend, because I could not have fought that off, and I could not have dealt with it. And so I was like, yeah, I wouldn't go. And so anyway, I'd take the deal, and we go up there, and the judge goes, this guy's getting parole. He doesn't have to go to, and the state's attorney's like, he took a deal, and the judge is like, this is my courtroom. I make the decisions. He's getting probation, and I didn't go to jail. I didn't go to anything, and I was lucky. Yeah, and my public defender told me, you got a lucky break, and that judge is going to follow you for the rest of your life. If you ever get in trouble like this, he's going to write a letter to the judge that's on your case, asking them to throw the book at you. So make sure you don't fuck up. And I haven't. I don't. The most I do is smoke weed or some shit. Like, when it was illegal, I would do shit like that and not care. But yeah, I don't fuck around.
Yeah, I think like for me too, my jail experience, I'd be like, I don't care to go back again.
Yeah, no. I
Yeah.
learned a lot from that, and I also
But
tell people that are criminals. I adore criminals, but I let them know not to talk to me about crimes. I don't need to know. Don't bother me with this stuff. Do your
yeah,
business. That's your business, and I don't want to hear about it.
yeah. At the same time, like being a Satanist, like I did a lot of crazy stuff before it finally spiraled out into like being incarcerated. So looking back, I don't regret any of my life because I've always had a lot of fun and stuff. But that was not a fun experience. But I learned I accept my consequences for my actions. It is what it is. Life goes on. And I think that's amazing that you were able to use art and your creativity to not continue on that route, because that happens for so many people, especially when they've already been incarcerated at a young age. It usually ends up just being a spiral effect.
Well, I also had an idea of what right and wrong was. So even when those crimes were happening, like my friends were breaking into apartments, I didn't feel comfortable with it. I didn't feel comfortable trampling on people. I've never been the guy, I'm always the guy at the party saying like, that's not cool. She's passed out. You
You
know,
square?
well, I don't know if I'm a square, but I just don't feel it does whatever it feels. It doesn't feel cool. It doesn't feel right. I wouldn't want it done to me. So I guess you could say square. I guess I'm fine with that. I'm just me, but I've just never been comfortable with a lot of that stuff. I'm just not.
Yeah.
I'm not. I'm comfortable fighting back or getting revenge. I'm comfortable, doing something to someone who's done something to me. But I'm not cool with doing stuff to people that haven't done anything to me. I think that's just like, you know, you're asking for problems, and I think when you talk about, you know, LaVey, Anton took me as a natural born Satanist, and how I would apply that as responsibility to the responsible. I don't want to take I don't want to take the consequences of stealing a car or breaking into your house to take your shit or hurting you. I don't want to deal with the consequences of you getting revenge on me. I don't want you to have juice to get revenge on me. But if you do
Mhm.
something to me, I'm going to definitely get revenge on you. I'm not going to turn the other cheek. And so that's how I sort of see that. Vengeance is
Yeah.
mine, saith the Lord. I'm the Lord, and vengeance is mine. I'm not going to give you the vengeance. I'm not going to give you the energy to get vengeance on me.
Yeah.
So I don't see it as being a square. I just see it as being responsible.
I see it as like it's like a weapon, like it's there if you really, really need it, life and death situation or something, but like you're not going around just using it all the time.
Jebediah is feeding lines to me. It's hip to be square. Huey Lewis song, hip to be square. Do you know this song?
I like it.
Do you know
No,
this?
I
Okay.
don't.
Of course. See, Jebediah, you are my age. I get it. That's an old man joke. It's a song that played over and over again when we were children. Hip to be square. Anyway, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Let's ignore this moment. Take it right out of your head. All right. What's going on, Lucy? Yeah.
All right, so I have like some question and answers. I'm gonna read the question, read the answer I have, and then you can like put if it's different from me. Like you could just add on whatever you want to add on. Okay, make it
Okay.
simple. Okay. Okay, so number one is what inspired Anton LaVey to establish the Church of Satan in 1966? And this is what I gathered. Anton LaVey was inspired to establish the Church of Satan in 1966 as a rejection of mainstream religious institutions and a desire to create a new religious movement that celebrated individualism, skepticism, and personal empowerment. LaVey believed that traditional religions were hypocritical and oppressive, and he sought to create a religion that embraced human nature and promoted self awareness and self indulgence. He also sought to challenge societal norms and provoke thought and discussion about the role of religion in modern society.
Sounds good.
You like
I have
that
no
one?
idea what was going on in his head. I have no idea, but I think as any artist, one thing I pretty much know is he didn't understand what would happen. You don't understand what you're doing. Like I've been able to hit the history books a handful of times on things that I've done, and it has nothing to do with Anton LaVey. And so as an artist, you don't really know when you're making something here, like obscenity. Obscenity, the law is even like when you create something, you don't create it knowing it's going to be deemed obscene. You create something, and then the population goes, "That's awful. That's obscene." And so, I think in the artist, I think Anton LaVey was an artist first. He was a musician and an artist, and people take him as something else now, an icon, a religious figure, all these other things. But he was an artist, and so when he created what he did, it was through tricks of art, and I don't think he realized how big it would get. I think he, thought, hey, this will be a way to, because he was already doing, let me teach you how to get laid in 16 satanic ways in his living room, in his ritual chamber. And so he was already doing that thing to sell tickets into his house and all this stuff, and sell tickets and make money outside of the status quo, not participating in this shitty society. And that's what everyone was doing back then. The hippies, there was the hippies, the general public, the general hippies, but most of those people that were counterculture basically turned their back on society and made their own society. They made their own newspapers, they made their own books, they made their own music that had nothing to do with what was popular. They made it, and they just did it. They were like, yeah, we don't need a venue. We'll just do a concert in the park. We don't give a fuck. And I think LaVey was part of that, where he just turned his back on things and was creating something, for in a moment, but not realizing it would be a lifetime. And what I've heard from Forrest Ackerman. Forrest Ackerman is the guy who created science fiction, the word sci-fi. He ran Famous Monsters magazine. Forrest Ackerman was a real big deal when I was a kid, and he still is. He's of historic note. And so if you look up Forrest Ackerman, you'll understand. He had the Acker Mansion, all this stuff. So when I would go to Hollywood, I would take Forrest out to House of Pies, and he'd get some pie. Two stories here. One time he's sitting across from me. I was a lot bigger. I lost a lot of weight. But he's like, I know what you want. At the last time I took him to pie. I'm like, what? And he goes, you want a whole coconut pie. You want a whole coconut cream pie right in front of you. And I go, the fuck, you calling me fat? And he goes, I know you want a whole coconut pie. I go, how do you know that? He goes, Orson Welles used to sit in that same seat across from me, and he would get a whole coconut cream pie. And I know you're just like him. You want a whole coconut cream pie. And he just sat and ate his soup and ate his pie and went on. He didn't laugh, barely. I think he had a smile on his face, but he's going. And I thought about that. I'm like, I'm going to do Orson Welles one better. I'm going to get a whole pie and a slice to go. I'm going to better Orson Welles. But anyway, he's telling me this story, and I had it on record. I think it might be on my archive.org. I'm pretty sure it is. He's in my car, and I'm recording some stories he's telling me. He's like, I knew Anton. I was friends with Anton and fucking Scientology guy. What's his name? L. Ron Hubbard.
Ron Hubbard.
So they were friends. They were all three friends, and they were artists. And he's basically said to me, like, they were just sitting around having coffee and cookies, like you're saying, the great times in the world for artists and people. Have some coffee and cookies, you bring everyone together. And he's like, he's having the coffee and cookies with Anton and L. Ron Hubbard, and they're all like talking about how they're going to figure out how to not work for the man, how they're going to create a life for themselves. And Forrest Ackerman's talking about these way out stories, aside, like this stuff. And L. Ron Hubbard was a writer and a sci-fi writer. That's why he's hanging out with Forrest Ackerman, the guy who come up with the word sci-fi. And Anton's there, of course, because he's part of this whole fucking scene. When you're artists, you just grow up together. You're part of a scene. And so that's what he said to me. Like, they were just sitting there plotting over maybe coconut cream pie, whatever, and just trying to figure out how they were going to make it. And then as artists, like Salvador Dali, like Picasso, any of them, you look at what they did in their early life. Look at what Picasso was doing. And then look what took off for him. And then it stuck. And he did it the rest of his life because that's what hit. The stuff before didn't hit. So he didn't do that. Same with Salvador Dali. Same with any artist trajectory. Jodorowsky, the modern master, your master, my master. Jodorowsky's the greatest artist on the globe right now. And he's an old man. Study that guy. He has the same trajectory. He did a bunch of stuff in his early career, and then stuff started to take off for him in a way that he was beneficial to his spirit, let's say, or his insides. It wasn't like he sold out, and Anton didn't sell out, and Forrest Ackerman didn't sell out, and L. Ron Hubbard, maybe you could say he sold out, but I don't think he did. I think he had a real Scientology. He had a real trip going on, and he really believed what he was promoting. And so there you go.
I've heard some crazy stories with L. Ron Hubbard, and then I also heard a story that after he made like his millions, like that him and Anton ran into each other, and he had owed like Anton like $5, something like that, and Anton was like, "Hey, where's my $5?" And then Ron like walked by and just pretended didn't even like
Really?
see him or hear him. Yeah.
Where'd you hear this from?
Then.
Wow. Wow. Of course. Okay. I was going to say, you better have a good source. I've never heard an L. Ron Hubbard story besides my own. I've never heard that before. I love hearing that because it confirms what Forrest Ackerman told me. And see, this is how counterculture history happens. No one writes counterculture history in history books. It goes from our mouth to your ears. It goes from the participants to the audience's ear, and you have to carry it. Same as what I mean. The same as what Christ, the Bible myth was carried mouth to ears for like 100 years before it was ever written down, something like that. And so it's the same kind of concept with counterculture. So I've never heard that, and I'm so happy to hear that because it confirms they knew each other. And everyone I talked to about that story, they're like, "Did they really know each other?" I'm like, "That's what Forrest Ackerman told me." And Forey wouldn't have lied to me about history. Forey was a counterculture person, and I was a counterculture person, so he was obligated to tell me the history from his mouth to my ear, just like I'm doing to you. And that's an obligation we have as counterculture people. You know, we
And
have
then like
we'll lie to you. We'll lie to, okay, in the general, I'm talking to Lucy, but I'm talking to you now. I'll lie to you to sell you a book, but I can't lie to Lucy because she's trying to be a participant. She's not trying. She's a participant in the counterculture, and she's swinging. And so it's like, I got to talk to her. I got to tell her history in her ear. And so that's the way it goes. I don't even have a choice. You know, she could be irritating me, and I have to still tell her the history.
And if you look at like the rule, I've studied Scientology, and if you look at it, it's very like it's similar to Satanism, diversion, but you see the empowerment of self. You see all these different things. So you see like that they had to rub with Anton and them probably rub together in what they were thinking to create because there's hints of it there, and then also like in LA, like I think the cult and magic and all that stuff is very prevalent. So I've heard a lot of stories about L. Ron Hubbard being a participant in those circles. And that's part of how he created his stuff. And if you look at it and if you're familiar with it, you see it in there. You see the thing, you see the current.
What was the guy that he was hooked up to that was a total occultist that hung out with Crowley? Let me look up. Let me see this fucking person's name. Oh, fuck. I'm sorry, kids. This is the way it goes. I haven't had my liver and onions recently, so my memory's going. When you're older, you have to eat a lot of liver and onions. That's at least what I think goes on. Oh, fuck. I can't find his name. Fucking come on. What the fuck?
Was it Manly P. Hall?
No.
Who was it? I think I know. There was Manly. There was.
Anyway, if I figure it out, I'll tell you.
It's a small circle, it's a small circle.
That's right, the countercultures. But it makes sense that all came from one group of people because it comes out of the hippie movement. It comes out of that moment of empowerment, of self-empowerment, self-love. Jack Parsons. Thank you, Jeff Dean. Thank you, Jeff Dean. Read my mind. Jeff Dean is a magician. You must know this, Jeff. Jack Parsons, Minds of Might, is also telling me, Jack Parsons, not Jeff. Jeff Parsons was Jack's loser brother. I don't know that, but anyway.
Yeah. So
is it Jack Parsons or Jack Parsons? They're saying, okay. He was actually a rocket scientist. Right. And he was into Crowley. He was a friend of Crowley, right? Is that the correct history? Tell me, Jeff. Anyway, there you go, Lucy.
Cool stuff.
We got a smart crowd. Smart crowd out there. Smart crowd.
Nice. Okay, so the second question I'll read. Okay, so how did Anton LaVey's book, The Satanic Bible, influence the Satanic movement? Anton LaVey's book, The Satanic Bible, published in 1969, played a significant role in shaping the modern Satanic movement. The book presented LaVey's unique interpretation of Satanism as a philosophy that focused on individualism, self-empowerment, and the rejection of societal norms and constraints. The Satanic Bible outlined the core tenets of LaVeyan Satanism, including the importance of indulgence, self-preservation, and the pursuit of personal desires. It also introduced rituals, symbols, and practices that have become central to modern satanic traditions. The book's publication helped to popularize Satanism as a legitimate religious and philosophical movement, attracting followers who resonated with its principles of self-determination and nonconformity. The Satanic Bible continues to be a foundational text for any satanic practitioner today, shaping their beliefs and practices. What do you think about that?
Anton LaVey created Satanism, so it didn't really help. Anything that is outside of that is a Christian form of Satanism. It has nothing to do with Satanism, that is. And when people compare it to other things that came before Anton LaVey, they're talking about a Christian Satanism. This is very different than that. It's extremely different. So modern Satanism, or what Anton LaVey created, was created by him with that book and with what he put forward after he did the book. You know, there was no Satanism before him. I mean, you know, not a religion for Satanists. There was something that Christians used to call people names, you know, and that's what people try to refer to as Satanism, or a lot of people are attracted to Satanism because they come from a Christian background and they want to be the opposite of Christianity. But Satanists aren't the opposite of Christianity. We don't even acknowledge Christianity. There is no acknowledgement of that. It's not Curly Parsons, Sharon. It's Curly Crowley, I thought it was. I was looking for these fucking memes Sharon made up. She made up these fucking memes with Curly from the Three Stooges. This Curly fucking...
That was so funny.
Curly Crowley. I laughed my head off. I have it somewhere on my phone. I was trying to show that. What was it, Sharon? It wasn't Curly Parsons. You suck anyway. You're not on here on the fucking chat. Get out of here. So that's what I think. I don't think it had any... I think it created a space for people who identified as the black sheep, no matter what their upbringing was, no matter if they were Christian or not. You know, I went to Catholic school, but none of that resonated with me. And when Anton LaVey invited me to the Black House, I didn't take it as anything like, I took it as counterculture. I took it as like something that was new and never done before. I didn't take it as, oh, this is a rejection of Christianity. I took it as, this is an acceptance of self. And it's like different than what the hippies did. You know, the hippies were about peace and love, but my group was about hate and violence. My art group, the aesthetic terrorism art group, was about hate and violence. And so this was an extension of that to me. I was like, oh, but it created that. He created our art movement. I just didn't know it. With all the goth, all that anger, all the acceptance of anger and expression of anger, that came from Anton. And so that whole death metal, black metal, that's all stuff I was into. And that is all from Anton going, accept the anger, use it to your benefit. You know, don't think it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. It's just a thing. You know,
it's a bad thing if it gets repressed.
Yeah, and well, there's no repression in Satanism. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's the Christian side of the satanic stuff, and talking about that kind of, you know, like that Satanism is like, that's for other people. That's for status quo. That's for something else. Yeah, Claudia Burdella is there. Art That Kills by George Petros. That's right. And I happen to have a chapter in that book. So I don't even see Anton LaVey's Satanism as a rejection of any of it. I just see him as going, you know, like, I'm going to use this word to define this group of people that I work with. He worked at strip clubs. He worked with regular people. He was a fry cook. So that's how I saw what he was doing, was eye level with people, not with the intention of climbing a ladder and not looking down on people. He was eye level. And so that is the most respectful thing you can be as a human being, is eye level with every animal. And not only is it respectful, it's just the smartest way to be is eye level with people and straight up with them till you can't be, till they ask for it, till it's or else. And so, that's, I just, and Christianity and all that other stuff comes from looking up and pray, worship, or looking down and telling someone they're bad. So there's nothing like that in Satanism that I can see. I can't see it like that. And let me just say, I got the authority to talk about it from the man himself. And so,
Yeah. One of like the beautiful things I think about Satanism, especially like Anton LaVey's, is like me being ending up in like the adult entertainment, leading to me being a cult girl and all that stuff. And like that's a very society still looks down on those things, but to me that was like a very real version of real life. No sugarcoating on it. Like
yeah, well,
it's real.
that's what Satanism is. It's
And he
realistic.
empowered that, like he saw the humanness in it and he empowered that, but then he also like seen the power, the human power within those people, and gave them kind of like a voice and a platform, I feel, in a way, instead of being belittled by religion, and getting them like, here, you're powerful in who you are.
Something like that. Yeah, I
Embracing
think the idea with Satanism in the simplest of terms is it's a realistic idea versus an idealistic idea. Like I love is the law. Love is going to lead us. Love is going to cure everything. I want to believe that as the poet and artist that I am. I want to believe in love so much, and I do. It's fun to be in love. But love ain't going to do shit. Okay? What I see, what I hear, what I smell, and what I touch is going to do shit. And
It's all
so,
human at the end of the day.
right, so it's about being realistic. And believe you and me, I've been religious in love and gotten fucked over on that shit because I believed in love. And once you start believing in these abstract things, you're ripe for the picking. You're ripe to be taken. And as any stripper knows, once once they see love in the motherfucker's eyes, they're like, the ATM's right over here, bro. And my guy here will drive you to the bank tomorrow morning. Trust me, you're gonna see that pussy all fucking week until you're out of money. That is, So it's like you're being realistic, dude's
It
being
always
idealistic. What?
It's never ceased to amaze me how clients would come in the club, and like sometimes like I'd be like, "You want to get a dance?" To like, "No, I'm waiting for my girlfriend." I'm like, "Okay." Like some people would get so committed and fall in love. I'm like, dude, like it's a show, it's entertainment, it's a
Yeah,
business.
yeah.
But to
I don't
some,
like.
like it's like some people. That's what I realized. Like most people will kill and do not want their sugar coated fantasy broken. They'll pay to have that sugar coated fantasy of reality versus the dull, mundane, tediousness
Truth,
sometimes.
truth, and that's not such a bad thing to have to. That's why when LaVey talks about the making a room, the environment. Oh, these words escape me. I wish Sharon was here, but no, Sharon's not here. She's not here. You see how this goes? That could be using a LaVey
We're
right now.
missing a particle of our unit,
We're missing a part. We don't have. We need what is it?
a proton.
The collider. The hydron. Ah, motherfucker. See, it's hey, motherfuckers. It's midnight here, and I've been up since 5 a.m. This is old man losing the ability to put a fucking sentence together. What is it? The particle collider that's trying to find dark matter
The
and shit
neuron,
like.
electrons,
I
neurons,
I forget
protons,
what it is. Yeah, but
nucleus.
we can't find the dark matter. Total environments. Thank you, Claudia Berdella. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, total environment. So anyway, I'm out of it. Please go on. It's like I'm
Okay,
drunk
so
at
the
this
third
point.
one is there's 5, and then after that we'll finish it. Okay, so how did Anton LaVey's beliefs and teaching differ from traditional Christian beliefs? Anton LaVey's beliefs and teachings differed significantly from traditional Christian beliefs in a number of ways. One, the concept of Satan. While Christianity views Satan as the embodiment of evil and the enemy of God, LaVeyan Satanism does not worship or believe in a literal Satan. Instead, LaVey used Satan as a symbol of individualism, rebellion, and personal freedom. 2. Individualism and self development. Traditional Christian teachings emphasize humility, obedience to God, and selflessness. In contrast, LaVeyan Satanism promotes individualism, self empowerment, and the pursuit of personal desires. Followers of LaVeyan Satanism are encouraged to prioritize their own well being and happiness above all else. 3. Ethics and morality. Christianity outlines specific moral guidelines and commandments that believers are expected to follow. In contrast, LaVeyan Satanism does not have a set moral code, but instead promotes the idea of ethical egoism, where individuals are encouraged to act in their own self interest as long as it does not harm others. 4. Attitude towards authority and tradition. Traditional Christian beliefs often emphasize submission to authority, such as religious leaders and scripture. LaVey, on the other hand, encouraged skepticism towards authority and tradition and promoted critical thinking and independent thought. Overall, Anton LaVey's beliefs and teachings challenged many of the fundamental principles of traditional Christianity, advocating for a more individualistic, self empowered, and nonconformist approach to life and spirituality. What are your thoughts on that?
Where are you getting that from? Chat
My
GPT?
secret sources. Huh?
Chat GPT?
AI, yeah.
I thought so. AI goes on at the fucking mouth like diarrhea until you tell it to calm down. So it's like, I have to, you got to, in my prompts, I always say, can you write that like I'm talking to plumbers? Can you write this? Can you write that really simply, like in a paragraph that has, I have to tell it to shorten it up, or it'll just keep going. I don't. Some of it just went beyond me. Just sum it up. What did you say?
Okay, so pretty much looking at seeing Satan as not the actual devil, but just seeing it as a symbol of individualism, rebellion, and personal freedom. That Satanism encourages well-being and Satanists are encouraged to prioritize their own well-being and happiness above all else. Ethics, that Satanism encourages ethical egoism, and that
I love. Satan represents the hadron collar. I don't know how to pronounce that. Do you know how to pronounce it? I've
no.
heard it so many times. Yeah, it sounds good to me. I don't know what to think of it. I think that, what do you think of it? What do you think of what you just read?
I think it all pretty much summed it up pretty well in a long-winded version.
It's cool. It's cool what you know. It's cool what's there. I wonder what you think of it, because for me, like, it just becomes down to, when I talk about this stuff with Satanism, it becomes down to the moment, who I'm talking to, the nuances of everything. So what I might say today, I might say differently tomorrow.
Well, I think coming from a Christian background, that the part of always like getting down on your knees, begging to something greater than yourself is very like demeaning and kind of like saying that you have no power over anything. But I feel like Satanism is saying that go out and create your opportunities, go out and own who you are, and like don't take like final answers as say so. Like you don't need to get down to on your knees and beg something greater than you, because you are the greatness.
See, so I'm always into like arguing, like, and now I'm all drunk on sleep, no sleep. So it's like I'm always like I want to say, yeah, you're always going to get down on your knees for something, money, power, something. Someone's going to get down on their knees for it. Like, love. People worship people, and I wonder. They talk about the worship circuit in your brain, like, a lot of people try to sell religion as we have this worship circuit. We need to worship. We need to have something like that. And, I look at animals more than anything, and I think like they worship. When you see chipmunks, or they gather their food, and they sort of like that becomes something they live with. It's their altar. Let's say they worship those acorns they're gathering. So it's like we all submit to something, whether, like paychecks, money, survival, whatever is going to get you by. Like, I think it comes down to like survival. And I think sometimes like the church, religions try to supplement that. Like, you're going to survive if you believe in this. your survival is guaranteed in this, and your suffering now is going to be, you're going to have no suffering if you believe in this when you're dead. So we worship survive. And that's, I think, might is right, survival of the fittest. And at least that's what I see with animals. They worship those things. Their nest, how they build those things. They have this pride in it. It's like a worship. Like when I make artwork, it's like prayer to me. And when I finally finish something, I put it on display on an altar. I put it up and I look at it, and it's almost like worship. Not even though it's worshiping myself, but am I worshiping myself, or is it my subconscious? Something that like my artwork doesn't. I didn't like. There's tricks like this stuff. I could say is my. I created those. No one else made those, but that's just a gimmick, or that's just something I sell. But the artwork I make comes out of a place that I don't even understand. I still don't. I'm like, man, where the fuck did that idea come from? Like, that's weird. When I wake up in the morning, I look at something I made or started to sculpt or an idea I had. I'm like, what the fuck is going on in there? And so I don't know. There you go. There's what I think of what we're talking about.
I can definitely relate to you because, like, when I finish my art, I'll just sit there and like meditate on it. And like, I think I've heard you mention this before. Is like sometimes when I'm doing my art, like I'll have a feeling or emotion come up, and I'll get a tear, or like it's like, and or I'll have like a flashback to memory and like my emotion that was tied to that. But in the time of living that memory, like I didn't connect with my emotions at that time. I disconnect. So it's like when I'm doing my artwork, like I'll have that connection where I'm like, oh, I felt this at that period of time.
Yeah.
It's like there's these connections going on, and then later on I'll look at the work and like it's just like, where did that come from?
Right. There's weird. Yeah, that's weird moments when I really get into making artwork. The weird transcendental moments, almost like it's weird. It's psychedelic weird. I can't put word. What?
Yeah. I'm like, it's like, and I don't know if you're sober all the time, but like when you're so like it's sober, it's just it really I think like I feel like it really opens up your mind to like see how you can exist in so many realities at one point.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Yeah, I wish I could put it into words. A lot of that stuff. It's just it's magic. It's like something that is hard to put into words. It's a cult, and I've read the science on stuff. I've read a lot of ideas on this stuff, art and creation and expressions. I know very little, but what I know a lot about, and that stuff I've studied forever, and I can't relate with a lot of what people say it is, or what we do when we make stuff, or where it comes from psychologically. It becomes like I can't put words to it, and I'm okay. I can put words to things pretty good, but
It's an experience.
yeah, it is. That's the best you come to. It's like it's a trip. It's a psychedelic experience, and I've created artwork a lot, probably a majority of my life when I'm stoned or fucking drunk or partying, something like that. I drink and do stuff, but I do a lot of sober art now, and I didn't need any of the drugs. I didn't need any of the alcohol. I didn't need any of it because it's a drug. Getting that far in your mind, going that far in the dark points of your subconscious, where you're not even here anymore. Like I don't even feel like I'm on this fucking planet anymore. Like I'm floating. I think of it as assessing elusive parts of myself. It's a very small screen. It's late. Grampy doesn't have his glasses. Fucking give me a break. I can't
Oh
keep giving
man.
excuses. There's a lot of good comments going on in the comments. I really love it. I hope this all shares on the YouTube. They're really great. Anyway, what's your next one? Let's hear it.
All right. We were going very transcendental right now. It's getting deep.
Right.
Okay. So I'll try to shorten up these little things, okay? Okay, so what impact did Anton LaVey's controversial public persona have on the perception of Satanism? LaVey's flamboyant and provocative image, often featuring elaborate costumes, theatrical rituals, and provocative statements, helped to generate media attention and popular interest in Satanism. However, this led to misconceptions and misunderstandings about the true nature of LaVey and Satanism. On one hand, LaVey's public persona helped to establish Satanism as a counterculture and rebellious movement, attracting followers who were drawn to its iconoclastic and anti-establishment message. The shock value of Anton LaVey's image and writings also helped to elevate Satanism's profile and challenge social taboos and norms. LaVey's persona also fueled negative stereotypes and misconceptions about Satanism as a whole. His sensationalistic approach to promoting Satanism, along with his embrace of provocative symbols and rituals, contributed to the perception of Satanism as a cult or of evil, hedonism, and black magic in the eyes of the public. LaVey's controversial public persona played a complex role in shaping the perception of Satanism, helping to raise awareness and interest in the movement while also reinforcing negative stereotypes and misconceptions. Despite that, LaVey's impact on the Satanic movement remains significant and enduring. What do you think?
Well, yeah, I agree. I agree. He used he used what was already out there, that was being used as a positive, as something to embrace, and not. I don't. I think that's open to interpretation. I don't know. I don't know if ever, as Satanists, we're looking to deal with the status quo. We're looking to shock them. But I think LaVey used shocking things to entice people that are attracted to shocking things, that are attracted to, like they said before, if you tell them no, they're going to do it. I think you got to, if you tell a lot of the Satanists, oh, you shouldn't do that, they're going to go, why? And go right in and do it. I think that is keen insight on what you're talking about there, where he used it to attract people who are like looking to be rebellious, looking to be like, and I don't even know if they're looking to be rebellious, but they're just attracted to that taboo, the taboos. So they're going to try any taboo. If you tell them don't do that, they're going to try it anyway. I think.
And I think it feeds in, like, from my experience, from speaking from my own experience, I've kind of noticed that, like, when you're an entertainer, and especially how the media puts it, sometimes it's way more grander. Like the whole fantasy and the show is way more grander than like the lifestyle of the entertainer or the Satanist,
Yeah. Oh
Like
yeah.
I think the media built it up to be something so much bigger than it probably was when Anton, like, of course he was different than most people, but like he was probably, if somebody was to spend like normal time with him, probably just a very normal, boring life, studying and doing these creative things to put on the show and the spectacle for people.
Yeah, I think more than anything, like if you put yourself with the Baphomet, let's say you have it in your living room, you're wearing it, the reaction to it is entertaining. To what I would see like a real Satanist, it's more entertaining than looking to shock them. It's more about entertaining ourselves.
Yeah,
Whatever their
it's a
reaction.
feeling, it's energy.
Yeah, whatever their reaction is, who gives a fuck? But we're entertained by it nonetheless. Like, oh my goodness, oh, look at that. They'll do the sign of the cross or some shit, and you sort of have a good laugh. So it makes life entertaining, makes life fun, and not so dreary. You walk through the grocery store with satanic garb on, and people freak out, and it's sort of fun. I don't, I don't see it as I want to shock those people. I see it as I don't give a fuck what happens, but I love the reactions when I get them. They're
It's
entertaining to
it's
me.
awesome, right?
Yeah, even like I've
What
been
they
run out of
say?
towns. I've been run out of towns, and I got to tell you, I'd rather have that
So
life than the
funny.
plumber's life. I'd rather have that life. I had it's been hard, but it's been cool. Okay, it's been fun. I wouldn't if I had a chance to do it over again. I would do it the same. It was I'd just have better. I'd be better prepared. Um, but it's been entertaining. It's
And it's mostly people just letting their imaginations go off with themselves.
yeah, and I think it
Like
also what.
have you ever done like shows and then sometimes read through the comments and like see how far off people take things, like how far off people's imaginations go sometimes on comments and stuff?
Yeah, and I think
It's so funny how much people create their own.
oh yeah, the status quo. I think is what I see it. What some of the reactions though is they just show the animal that they try to hide. They get very when the status quo has a witch to burn, they burn the witch. They enjoy watching the witch scream. They enjoy it. They're sadistic, just like you and me. They have a sadistic streak, and they don't like to admit that. They'll say, "Oh no, I'm a religious person. I care about people." But they'll burn the fucking witch, and they'll love it. You'll see the fire in their eyes, the sadism. They'll be watching it, and the person be screaming. So I see a lot of the satanic stuff as a truth teller to me. Like when it scares someone away, I'm glad they're scared away because they're probably the person that would have hurt me in a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad they move away because they're the ones that are going to enjoy burning the witch. Witches Sabbath, April 30th and May 1st in Los Angeles, California. Tickets are on sale now. Hit the link in the bio. VIP packages are available. I'm going to get my plug real quick.
All right.
Yeah,
I
I
know
got
my phone's
my
going.
plug. I'm joking. That's actual electric plug, not a
Oh.
plug.
Okay, hold on. I need to get my phone plugged in too. It's about to die.
Are we still talking?
Yeah, we're still talking. Okay, so I'll start reading the next question.
All
Okay,
right.
so how has Anton LaVey's legacy influenced modern Satanism and occultism? Satanism, some key. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so number one, establishment of LaVeyan Satanism. Anton LaVey founded the church. Okay, which served. His creation of LaVeyan Satanism established a framework of Satanism as a legitimate religious and philosophical movement, which continues to have followers and influence to this day. Promoting an individualism and self-empowerment. LaVey's emphasizes on individualism, self-empowerment, and personal responsibility remains central to modern Satanism. Many contemporary Satanists continue to draw inspiration from his teachings on self-actualization, self-indulgence, and the pursuit of one's desires. Use of satanic symbolism and imagery. Anton LaVey popularized the use of satanic symbols such as sigils of Baphomet and the inverted pentagram, which have become iconic to both Satanism and occultism. His aesthetics choices and rituals have influenced the visual and ritual practices of modern practitioners. Influence in occult philosophy. LaVeyan's writings, particularly the Satanic Bible and the Satanic Rituals, have had a significant impact on the development of modern occult philosophy. His fusion of elements from various occult traditions, along with his unique perspective on human nature and spirituality, continues to inspire occult Satanism. I think we'll leave it there because I don't want my phone to die in the middle of this. But I think that's fascinating because I think one day you were telling me like the genius in what he did was how he simplified it all.
Oh yeah, that's the genius. And anyone can simplify something really big into a small tweet is a genius. And people go, well, that's simple. The simpler you can sum something that is a great idea up into the smallest amount of words, you're a really smart character. And I think that is the genius of him. Did he inspire? I mean, any artist that is pulled along their path, you need to plug in your phone.
My phone's about to die. Yeah.
Yeah, go plug in your.
my charger. Okay.
Oh yeah, go ahead. I can say this. Any artist that's pulled along on their, and I think Sharon LaVey says it like Anton. What he did was his destiny. He was born, and it was his destiny. And I think like with Salvador Dali, Picasso, any of these great artists, they let life pull them along. They didn't. They struggled against what was pulling them. They had easier choices they could have made. They decided to get pulled along because it was an adventure. It was like skydiving. And I think when that happens, it inspires people to want to do that same thing. But most people try to copy the person that they see getting pulled along and having this skydive, this wonderful life. They're pulled along and they're like, wow, that's exciting what LaVey did. So they dress up like LaVey. They get the goatee. They try to do Satanism, and it's like, no, dude already did that. And no one's done it better. And I've watched, and I would give credit if I'm like, oh, dude, they upped it. No one has done it better. You might as well just give up and let life pull you along and figure out who you are. Maybe you're a person that is a dog whisperer, and it's just not so grandiose. But when you let life pull you along, it's a really great adventure. just like I was saying, I've been run out of towns. I've had some heat, and it's been like skydivers. It's cool. It's better than having like being a plumber and I come from plumber stock. Being a plumber and having 4 cars, 2 houses, having a ton of dough, no problem. I have a way cooler. My uncles are plumbers. I go visit them. I see what they got, and I see how they live. And they're like, look at Shane. I went to Aruba and made this artwork in a some coconut on a coconut, tourist thing. Look at, I'm an artist just like you. And I go, you are, bro. But he had to take that trip, the 2-week trip to Aruba to make some art on a coconut, and to live a moment like he thinks he wants to live. Like he's following someone he sees pulled along in life. He sees this artist, this free thing. So he's like, look, I was free for a moment. And I'm not saying there's anything bad with working a gig. I'm not saying anything like that. I'm just, maybe your life is being pulled along like that. But I think like when we talk about his influence on modern Satanism, it's the same as Dolly or any of these great artists that are hugely influential. Hugely influential. Like their influences, the younger generations don't even know where the stuff's coming from anymore. They couldn't say, I can see it and go, oh, that's LaVey. They don't see LaVey in it. I go, oh, that's Crowley, or that's this. No one hears Crowley and David Bowie, but David Bowie's all Crowley. And that's what I'm saying. Like that influence is immense. But I don't know. I've said it. Excuse me, I'm going to go on too much.
No, I like that. Okay. So we'll go over, we're gonna be having, so that's the end of the questions. I think we're gonna get ready to like close it out and close out. So we're having the Miss Satanic Witch pageant. No,
It's called Miss.
Miss. I'm the only Miss Satanic Witch.
You're the one and only.
Okay. Yes.
We
So
changed
it's
the name to the
Witch.
Miss Witches Sabbath because it's a non-denominational event. So we invite everyone. We invite pagan witches. We invite Wiccan witches. We invite There was a necromancing witch, Winter, helping Sharon. I don't know if I did that right. Winter, please do not curse me. Please get Beelzebub on my side. Belial, get them in my house right now. But we invite everyone. We invite witches. We invite all people that are of that ilk to the Witches Sabbath. So that's why we changed the name from Miss Satanic Witch, even though it's probably going to be a Satanist that wins. Because
if you can cook or do a little bit of art, you probably got a little bit of witch in you.
Probably.
So you might as well come.
You might as well come and come again.
Yeah, I was thinking and you said it. Okay.
I know you were.
All right. So we need women to come, or even men,
come again.
to come for the Witches Sabbath pageant, Miss Witches Sabbath pageant. Let me say that. It's kind of tongue twister.
Sharon said I can't be a judge because I'm too scary. Could someone talk her out of that? I want to be a judge because
you might try to run away with our contestants.
That's fine. You got to impress the judges, and I want to be in judge because I want to be impressed. And now I can't be a judge.
You'd be hard to impress.
That's true.
You'd be hard to impress.
But if I'm hard, I'm going to be impressed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. It's no man joke. Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Okay.
I'll stop.
So, is it going to be they need to come and put on a little skit or like just pretty much just display your magical talents, abilities? It can be anything, whatever you feel your heart drawn to do for this pageant.
I would advise walking in and handing out $100 bills because that's going to win. You start just because you can bribe the judges, and if you start with me, like you just drop $1,000 in my hand, I'm going to guarantee you're going to win because I'm going to talk to the judges for you. I'm going to make things happen. I'm going to make things happen for you. So that's one way to impress. That's the ultimate way to impress. I see it.
We're going to see your magic go down, huh?
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so Witches Sabbath tickets are available on Eventbrite.
Or if you got Glenn Danzig as a date, if you bring Glenn Danzig to the party, you're probably going to win some prizes.
Is he going to be there?
I shouldn't have told that. I shouldn't have told he's going to be there.
So tickets are available on baphometx.com. That's baphometx.com. And Eventbrite. You can find them on there, both or in any of our link trees. The
You can
links are
find
there in Shane's link tree.
Artwork of Prophecy has the most complete link tree for the Witches Sabbath that I see. And that's artworkofprophecy.com and baphometx.com.
All right, Shane. I think we put on a good show tonight. Say it. Hell Satan.
You make me say it. Say it. Make me.
Hell Satan. Did you see the
Hell
lights right
Satan.
now?
Yes, I did. Did you do that?
No. It was Beelzebub or
It was
Belial or
it was
something.
from this program?
That was not my phone.
I didn't do it.
It's my Luciferian powers.
Why isn't it doing on my end? See, that's the fucking witch that was on. Winters did some shit. Winter, make it happen behind me.
All right, Hell Satan.
Now, Satan.